Take two. Well, hello, Crime Stoppers. It is a lovely Saturday. What you're looking at here, I'm going to be doing a screencast, and I'm going to be covering a whole bunch of stuff, and I wish I could put this on screencast. I should be able to, I haven't figured it out yet, but be able to show PDFs on this. Actually, I could, but I don't want to dig through all the documents. But anyway, let's start off with the conspiracy theories. That's conspiracy theory. The people that, oh shoot, that's the one thing that I didn't get ready. Need some cue cards over here due to the fact. So hit the 2x speed thing so that you don't have to go through all of this. But being that we're here on the fluff tube that is no longer the bastion of free speech, but it is absolutely, positively the public square. And as other people have said, you can be on Rumble, you can be, and you're basically talking to into an echo chamber. So you got to use some words of art here. I don't know, can you see that? Yeah, there you go. Those that would do that would have no trouble doing this. Now, what you're looking at on the screen right here is a view from, notice the 22, a view from I wouldn't say it's a friend's house, but it's a friend of a friend. I know the person, and I'm not going to put her name here, although if you go to my webpage, or my Facebook page, you'll see her there. But there are several people who choose to remain nameless because of all the people that are saying conspiracy theory, and it's not like the CIA programmed you to say that. I have no direct evidence of any kind of, here we gotta do it again, of any kind of that thing. Oh, look, it's backwards. Can I write backwards? I don't know. Can I do it? I think I can. Because I'm talented like that. Anyway, just to intimidate my friends and impress my enemies by being able to write backwards. But anyway, the idea is I have no direct evidence in Lahaina. However, this is direct evidence in Olinda. And by the way, while we're all talking about Lahaina, we seem to forget that there are plenty, and I mean plenty of fires going on up country. All happened at the same time, just by coincidence. And again, it's not, I'm going to put a bunch of links underneath, hopefully. So come back and check those. But, you know, they're telling you, oh, don't believe social media. Really? So don't believe eyewitness accounts from people that have their video cameras out. Don't believe those guys. Believe us. We're telling you what happened. So, direct evidence that there seems to be, who gave the order to tell the order takers to stop the traffic from fleeing Front Street in Lahaina? Direct eyewitness, more than one eyewitness, because lots of people were in their cars, freaking out because there was a fire. And it says right on the site, unless they've changed that, that it wasn't just tsunamis that those sirens are for, their most robust system in the world. It was for any emergency, and brush fire specifically is included. In addition to, including, but not limited to use statutory construction. The fact is that they should have blown sirens and let people know that, hey, there might be a little problem. And then I have an issue with, and we talked about this last time, with how did the fire get from one place to another? I mean, it was all from, allegedly, from down power lines, huh? Okay. Possible. Could have been arson. And then, you know, some people were trying to blame crackheads. Yeah, even crackheads, no. But there's a lot of unanswered questions, and a lot of unanswered questions. And we're not, I mean, people are getting testy, and rightfully so. Meantime, the people in Lahaina still grieving. Haven't even discovered all the bodies yet. And from what I'm hearing from at this point, it's no longer bodies, it's remains is the closer mark. And a lot of those remains are children. How many? We don't know. But it looks like it's going to be hundreds of people because there are many, many, many people still missing, which is the worst part. When I know this from experience, when you don't know, when you're holding out hope that maybe they're, but by now, see, they're should have been able to make it to a shelter, but still in Lahaina, no freaking service. There's guys out there putting out the what do you call mobile units so that they can get service. But right here, let's get back to the picture that you're looking at. That is a flash of light that is nowhere near a power line up country in Olinda. I know a person that lives one, I think maybe two houses down from here. And she confirms the fact that she knows the lady that whose video this is, and I think they already sold it to like Alex Jones and them. But it came in at an angle like this. It didn't come straight down, and there it is, bright white flash and fire. So there is some evidence. I don't have any direct evidence. And okay, and then, but I do have people saying just ridiculous stuff about the trees and so forth. Trees, yeah, the houses burn to ash, the trees don't burn to ash because the trees are full of water. And the trees are designed by God Almighty to withstand fire. And some of them actually benefit from fire. Not our trees in Hawaii in particular, but there are trees that they can't, what do you call it? The pine cones won't open unless they're hit by flames. Anyway, it's hard. It's hard. You don't understand how hard it is because we're talking about people I know having lost their businesses, lost their houses. Fortunately, I don't know anybody firsthand so far that has lost their life, but I know people who have lost loved ones. And these vultures are already swooping in, acting like, you know, hey, you want to sell your property for pennies on the dollar? How insulting can you possibly be? And then it is not conspiracy theory. They just changed the law so that in case of natural disaster, the governor can change zoning and lift all the laws and so on. Look into that. I'll put some links below. But that's not conspiracy theory. Just a few weeks before. What a coincidence. And then in roads, they seem to be having the same issue with wildfires in Greece, halfway around the planet, or on the other side of the planet. And that happened a couple of weeks before the Lahaina fires. And again, while we're talking about Lahaina, we seem to be forgetting about upcountry and fires that were going on. I'm pretty sure they're out by now, but I mean, you know, a week later, I know as of 2 days ago, they weren't out. Anyhow, very, very suspicious that we have pictures like this. And okay, and then also, several other people can confirm that they saw white flashes of light not anywhere near, in the middle of forest, not anywhere near power lines, and then there were fires. And some of those people, because they don't want to be labeled as conspiracy theorists, don't want to speak up. But I think they should speak up. But I mean, it's ridiculous that we don't have the ability to get communications out to Lahaina. That those people still don't have cell reception, and they still certainly don't have internet and so on, except for, you know, the mobile units that are being placed out there. And then now, oh, you can't fly a drone. Oh, you can't even fly a drone over Lahaina now. No cover-up or anything. You need permission to fly a drone. You need permission to be down there. Oh, and here's another thing. N95 mask, not sufficient if you're going through that rubble. If you're in the general area, maybe, but the stuff that's going to be toxic and cancerous to you, you need a respirator. Like an actual respirator, not just an N95 mask. An N95 mask, better than nothing, but don't get a false sense of security, and understand that you need to change the thing regularly. Okay. Just so happens, if I can find it, that on this device, I managed to save this document. So we're going to go over this. That's my, oh, a couple of things before I get to I get to this document, because this document no longer exists on the internet. It exists on my tablets and a couple other places, and you can find it on the Wayback Machine if you know what you're looking for. Look up here in the, what do you call, in the, where it says offline, freedomschool.com, Lewis, and so on and so forth. Punch that into the Wayback Machine and it'll come up. But why is it gone? Anyway, before we get to that, many people saying, oh, it had to be no other explanation in the whole wide world except for this when it comes to the boats in Lahaina. Okay, no. Eyewitness accounts. The water was on fire. So here's what happened. High wind, and again, eyewitness accounts, where they're saying that there were embers, charcoal-sized embers, some of them being, bouncing off of them, causing them burn marks, like charcoal brick-sized embers on fire, burning coals. Okay, so first, it laid down a layer of oil, and you can still see it in the harbor. There were pictures, a layer of charcoal on the water. And then on top of that layer, that floating layer of charcoal, it's no longer water, it's a layer of charcoal, fire over that. And that's how it got out to the boats, because the wind was so strong. And there is video of rivers of fire blowing along because of those 60, 70 mile an hour winds. Another myth, school wasn't out. Like they're saying, oh, like, okay. Are these people nefarious? Yes. Are they traffickers? Yes. Are they, yes. Making no apologies. However, school hadn't started yet. So people that are trying to say that they took the kids home from schools and the implication is to increase the death toll, no. There wasn't school that day. School hadn't started. The school started the next day. They were still, that was like the last day of summer. 8. So that's another myth. But the fact that that hundreds of tons of wood burned through, and then that's the other thing, trying to figure out what happened. Okay, it was from the wind. I'm talking about the banyan tree. The wind, because again, tons of wood in the form of what used to be the Wharf Cinema Center, blowing across the street and into the tree, and then onto the courthouse, and then around that and into the harbor. But mostly it came through Pioneer Inside. Again, as the thing was blowing, that it just, you can't, well, actually you can imagine it because there's video of it. And if you go back to my last video, you can see the video of it and things exploding, cars and gas tanks and propane tanks and, oh my God. Anyway, hell on earth is the way some of those guys described that for that little while. But the fire managed to get into the water because there was a layer, a thick layer of charcoal that had blown out into the ocean. And on top of that charcoal layer, the drier embers were able to travel and burn and catch boats and catch the harbor and so forth. And then from one end of the harbor to the other. It wasn't, I have no evidence that I can find for this. However, I just showed you evidence, and there's apparently a couple of other people that are talking about seeing those bright flashes of light. So now it becomes, whose dues was it? Was it, there's theories about the Chinese. Of course, blame the dead guys, blame the Chinese, right? There seems to be some foreknowledge also, and that's always a clue, but that's going to be hard to prove. And again, most of these people, they don't even want to think about it because they're still figuring out what they're going to do with their next meal and where well, actually that's not true. That's pretty well taken care of. And then let's talk about that for just a second. These guys called FEMA, what they want you to do, I'm going to read this and you can take from it what you will. This is a rogatory that I sent to my attorney. And by the way, the recorder at the courthouse refused my registered mail. But let's read this just for giggles. This is the original that I have here. And you can see it was sent registered mail. You can look that up. It was delivered. And then there was another one. That's 777, which was sent to my public defender, who is the authorized representative for the name. And then the other one was 750, which was misaddressed and sent to the courthouse, which our courthouse is now where the prosecutors occupy. And the courthouse itself is a different address. So anyway, I got Confucius, or actually I didn't get Confucius. I had 2145 High Street, and it was 2145 Main Street, And then a guy at the post office chimed in because he was on his phone, and he said, "Oh, the courthouse." And the courthouse, yes, but no. The courthouse is 150 South High Street, which is where the prosecutor's office is because it's the old courthouse. And across the street from the old courthouse used to be the federal building, which is now a parking lot. Still haven't got a clue on that. Well, let me see if I can read this. Do I need glasses? Because it's kind of dark in here, even though I've got multiple bright lights going on here because I have my computer over here and my tablet over here. And I played around with my tablet, so I have a better idea of how to use the thing, so I'm not embarrassed to death trying to figure out how to use the technology. But anyway, letter rogatory, acceptance and appointment of counsel, and request for service in my case. And the case is, you can look it up if you want, in Maui Second Circuit Court, which is a district court, which is a subsidiary of the, oh wait, now I gotta get it here because I want to read it correctly. Hey, is it not there all of a sudden? Oh, it's not there, that's why. Ah, I thought I was ready. See, this is the part where you're glad you're on 2 times speed. There you go, because I want to read it correctly. And I'll read you some DUNS numbers. And see, I could probably put them on here for you to read, but I'd have to go dig around, and I didn't want this thing to crash because I got too much stuff going on, plus I'm streaming live and so on. The new devices are much better, but I'm so old school that I'm used to overloading the processors and they crash. Anyway, the American Bar Association has a DUNS number. What's the DUNS number? Go find out what a DUNS number is. Those are for businesses, by the way. Let's see here. The DUNS number for the American Bar Association, a private business doing private business in the courthouse at 2145 Main Street, where they rent out the rooms and call them courtrooms. 050573591. I'll say that slowly, and you can, if you need to write them down and you don't have these documents. American Bar Association has a DUNS number, 050573591. United States government. That's United States, which is not the same as United States of America. It's just United States, which is the corporation which is domiciled, also known as United District of Columbia, because states means District of Columbia, and we'll go over that. I'll find it here, or else I'll put a link below about the 25 indisputable facts, and I've already put that on the Wayback Machine because I expect them to kill that too. Why would they kill that if they weren't committing fraud? Let's see here, because it's evidence of fraud when they're trying to trick you. And this is what I put in there, that Brady, where, you know, knowingly and willing, you should know what's going on there, and if they don't tell you what's happening, that's fraud in the contract. See, and your square, BJ Williams, has 4 sides, not 3. Cause no harm, cause no loss, don't disturb the peace, no mischief in your contracts. That's your square. He seems to leave out one of them, which would be a triangle. We have a square. We're standing on our square. We're square dealers. Okay, let's see here. BJ will never see this. And I find it amusing. And I'll put his stuff down there. High-level Scientologists might ask if L. Ron Hubbard and Aleister Crowley had a relationship. Anyway, let's see here. State of Hawaii, their DUNS number. This is a juristic entity, which is a subsidiary, slurring my words, of the United States. And their DUNS number is 077676997. That's 077676997. That's the state of Hawaii's DUNS number. State of Hawaii is not the same thing as Hawaii State. Just like County of Maui, whose DUNS number is 077680155. That's 077680155. County of Maui is a franchise of State of Hawaii, which is a franchise of United States. They're all private, for-profit corporations. They make no bones about it. Okay, they have DUNS numbers. So let's see here. Dear Stephen Mark, please be advised. Wait, I'm going to put on. These glasses were given to me by a guy in prison. Well, in jail. I never went to prison. I'm in jail. Look, now I look metro with the hair and everything. By the way, no hair color. I come from the generation. I'm a what do you call? I guess I'm a baby boomer. Very tail end of the baby. We don't put hair. The men don't put hair color in our hair. Sorry, we just don't. That's not something we do. And you can tell I haven't been in the sun because normally it would start turning golden, but I haven't been in the sun enough for it to thing. So it looks like dark hair. But this is what happens when you drink Kangen water and take your supplements and so on. Anyway, acceptance of appointment of counsel and request for service in case 2 FFC 21-000320. You can look it up if you have the ability. 2 FFC 21-000320. 4 zeros and then 320. Why is there a QSIP number associated with this case? Because they have to create a bond in order to make the case. All right, please be advised that I, as principal, and I cannot ever not be principal. I can never not be the source. Okay, you can't resign as principal. You can't resign as source because you're the source and the principal. There wouldn't be these documents if there wasn't for your certificate of live birth and your happy little footprints that they did when you were a baby and you don't remember any of that because they bonded you with a birth certificate. And then you got to look at those words. What does that mean? And BIRTH as opposed to BERTH. Anyway, I accept your appointment as per Maui Second Circuit Court, State of Hawaii cases, and I put them there that I just read off at the Second Circuit Court. Thank you. Right? I'm thanking him for being my public defender because he's defending. And by the way, the public defender's office now has a conflict of interest with Ben H. Rogers and Ben Hosea Rogers in all caps. So they don't want to represent me. But this guy decided he would. And at first I was annoyed about it. And now I see, no, I should be thanking the guy because he can act. I'm on the private. He acts in the public. And here's what I'm doing. I'm giving him a letter rogatory telling him what to do. I, the man, acting as creditor and principal, but not agent. And I have documents, which I'll read to you, about how you resign as agent because you don't want to be the agent. You want to be the principal and the creditor. You want to be the source. You want to be the donor for the all caps name, and in this case, Ben H. Rogers, because they keep changing on the docket, and I need to get a certified copy of the docket because they keep changing the docket around. Right? First, it was Ben Hosea Rogers, also known as the all caps Ben Hosea Rogers, and then they changed it to Ben H. Rogers. I'm not the same as either one of those. Those things were registered on the date of March 13th. I was born on March 7th. We cannot be the same person if we have different birth dates. Ha! Simple as that. So I, acting as creditor and principal, but not agent for Ben H. Rogers, request that you perform the following on behalf of the undersigned. And I signed it, and you can see here, it is signed, where's they? All right, there. Signed, thumb printed, and you can't see it, but you can feel it, sealed. And I signed as Rogers Ben Hosea beneficiary, Illinoisan, non-U.S. citizen, non-resident alien of D.C., source creditor sui juris, without prejudice, all rights reserved, without recourse, as principal, copyright, and name holder for Ben Hosea Rogers, Ben H. Rogers, and Ben Hosea Rogers estate. Okay. And see, it wouldn't be fraud if they said on your documents Ben Hosea Rogers estate. But no, they just name it Ben Hosea Rogers, which seems to be the same name as me, which makes you think that it's you, but it's not. Okay, I have many points to go through here, and how long have we been babbling on already? Look, already half an hour, and I hardly got through this. This is going to be a while, so I hear from many people that they watch it at 2 times speed, and they watch it in parts. So there's going to be a part where I get to this, and you should screenshot this. I wish I could get my face out of the way. I like these glasses. Oh, bro, you look intellect. You look metro when you wear them glasses. Anyway, and this is just a argument between two guys. Not an argument, it's a debate on whether HJR 192 was repealed, and yes, it was. And we even have the date of its repeal if you look it up. And then I put this on a certain person's page or under one of his videos, and he deleted it. Why would he delete this? Anyway, I knew Larry, and I knew Dan Mayador, and I didn't know them. I traded email with these guys. back in the day, way back in 1998 when I first started, and I was so foolish that I didn't realize, wait a minute, they're all corporations, not just the IRS. Anyway, I'm going through this slowly so you can screenshot. And I'll continue reading this other thing. And this has to do with other stuff. It actually has to do with what I'm doing here. Oh, look at all these documents that you can't get to anymore. You'll have to find them. Those are PDFs that you used to be able to download. I believe I have most of those on this tablet right here, or backed up on a thumb drive somewhere or something. Auto insurance is a benefit. Health insurance is a benefit. Except no benefits. Anyway, we're going to go over this bit by bit, piece by piece. And see, because this page, it's gone. It's gone. They removed it from the... It's not that they're... Right? The book burning has begun. All right. So, oh, stop. All right, so this is 14... Oh, no, wait. Not 14 points. This is 16 points. And see, here's the thing that I keep not doing. Keep your documents short. Man, 37-page documents? No, this is a 3-page document, and it was too long, and I agonized over taking what to put in and take out, because you want 1 or 2 pages. Orders are 1 or 2 pages. They're not pages and pages and pages, and quit trying to show them how smart you are. Here's an excellent notice. Pardon me. Yerba mate tea with coconut milk and honey. Oh, where'd it go? Oh, right there. I just closed it. It's notice. Oh, wait. I have one right here. No. Right. Really? I just got done going through all this paperwork. There it is. All right. See, look. 1-page notice. 1 page. Fits on. Doesn't even take up the whole page. Right? That's a proper notice. When you're going on for pages and pages, just quit trying to show them how smart you are, and get them to show you how smart they are, is the way this works. Okay, so 1, please accept the oath of office for all parties concerned on my behalf, as I accept your oath of office as a duly appointed officer agent of the court, and agree to allow you to act as agent for Ben H. Rogers. Not for the living man. He's on the public side. I'm on the private side. Ben H. Rogers, in all caps, is on the public side. That's my DBA. That's my doing business as. That's how I interface in commerce. Notice to agent, you, prosecutor et al., is notice to principal, Maui 2nd Circuit Court, State of Hawaii, etc., who may be acting as principals. Notice to principal is notice to agent. Please use the exemption for discharge and adjustment of the public charges against the defendant and release the order of the court to me immediately or as soon as you are able. Please represent and act as agent for Ben H. Rogers, that's 3, for whom Rogers Ben Hosea is principal and creditor on the private side, and for Ben H. Rogers on the public side at court in the aforementioned cases to effect this. This letter rogatory is in lieu of Form 56 and SSA 89. Form 56 is an IRS document that, and see, we're allowed as individuals, well, not wrong, as men, see, look up the term individual. Got me brainwashed into using their words. Where we don't have to use their forms. We can use our own forms or, reference the form. But anyway, Form 56 conveys trusteeship or other fiduciary responsibility to another and lets the IRS know you're doing that. SSA 89 is the release form for using your Social Security number, because under the Privacy Act, they're not supposed to have your Social Security number unless you authorize them to use it. But they could never bond your case if they didn't have your Social Security number. So somebody filled out an SSA 89 on my behalf. This guy could fill out an SSA 89 on my behalf if it has to do with this case. But other than that, they had no authority to do that unless they could prove some claims. And I have some stuff in here, I think I already read to you, that they need to prove their claims that they had the authority to act as me and had power of attorney and so on, which they did not. Authority to use exemption, execute required documents is granted for 60 days unless more time is requested in writing and mutually agreed upon. So I'm not making him the trustee forever and ever, or, my trustee. I'm trustee for this case, for this issue, for this matter, and to effect its dissolution. using the exemption. What's your exemption? Okay, as I said in the other vid, your social security number with dashes is the transit number. Your social security number without dashes is your mortmain account, is your exemption number, or your auto-CRIS, right? And also the social security number with dashes can also be considered a CUSIP number in many cases, many times. Okay, there is no need to dispute any facts regarding this matter, right? No facts. I'm not making any, no dispute. There's no controversy here, right? Love you guys. Let's just dismiss this thing. Because if you dispute and discuss, right? You don't have jurisdiction over me. You're not, I disagree. You don't, okay. Now, you've got stuff to adjudicate, don't you? Right? I'm the living man. Okay, none of that. Okay, just go represent this thing that they called. Okay, the one thing you got to do is get rid of the joinder and make sure that they understand. Now, you can't just stand up in court and say, "Oh, that's not me." You got to have some paperwork, and boy, do I have paperwork to prove it. I have now sent letters to secretaries of state in Illinois and in Hawaii. I've sent Secretary of State of the federal government notice and let them know, right? Because guess what? You and I signed over and over again that I was the, what do you call, the U.S. citizen, right, or U.S. person in order to vote, in order to get a driver's license, in order to do all these different things. Okay. So you're not necessarily changing your status, but you are letting them know that you are, okay. When you are in court, they who affirm must prove, though the one who denies does not have to prove. Okay, but they flip that around in you, like you have to prove that you're a U.S. No, I can't prove that I'm not a U.S. citizen, but you can prove that I am. And when I asked the, I just saw it. When I asked the U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services for any evidence they had that I was a U.S. person or a dependent officer or employee, they had no evidence thereof. Wait, let me see here. Because I give it to them twice, because I sent one in and then I sent another one in that had the where it says, I asked them if Ben Hosea Rogers is a dependent officer or employee of the United States. This is also people in Lahaina, why they want you signing documents with Red Cross and FEMA, because they want you to take benefits and make you a dependent, which will make you a U.S. citizen. And also, if you claim that you're a Hawaiian, native Hawaiian, look up the definition of native Hawaiian. Native Hawaiian means U.S. citizen. U.S. citizen means subject to these juristic entities and these corporations known as United States and State of Hawaii, and is a complete loss of your God-given unalienable rights. But here's a document that says, hey, I looked, I tried to find it and couldn't find it. So anyway, the idea being is they have to prove. They have proof of claim. You know, I can't say, I'm not saying that I'm not, but you can certainly prove that I am. Except they can't prove that I am, because I'm not. Simple as that. Prove that I'm a resident of Washington, D.C. Prove that we're in Washington, D.C. I'm on island Maui, not in Washington, D.C. And simply getting mail at a zip code doesn't make me in Washington, D.C. Further, everything is care of, especially here, because I don't live, this isn't my house that I'm in right here. I'm staying with a friend who has been more than generous in accommodating me for all this time as I'm battling these guys. Anyway, and not really battling, but just trying to figure out, you know, the maze that they have set and all the traps that these deists have set for you. Because, see, understand, these are Masons, and I had several friends that when they became lawyers asked me if I wanted to join the Masons, and I'm like, nah, Grandma said not to be a joiner. But most of the lawyers hold some degree or another with the Masonic Lodge. It was our founding fathers that were all Masons who worshipped liberty, not freedom, Liberty, Statue of Liberty. There's a difference between liberty and freedom. The Temple of Liberty, which we call the U.S. Capitol, is located in Washington, D.C. It's a temple to liberty. And go in there and look. I have seen the many things that are odd. The exaltation of George Washington, for example. Look at some of those murals and so on. Kamehameha has a statue there. What is it? Lili Okulani and Kalakaua, high-level masons. In fact, Kalakaua was one of the highest-level masons they ever produced because he had the old knowledge of the Hawaiians, and their degrees are given verbally. You have to take oral examination. You don't get paperwork like this to refer to. Right? If I was doing this in front, I'd have to know all this stuff that I wrote and be able to recite it, and not have to look at my notes and so on. He did that in English and French, and I mean, go look at all the badges he has. He won all his degrees in multiple languages. And they made fun of him because he put all his badge on. But those were badges, they were badges of honor with regard to the Masons. Because he won 33rd degree in multiple languages, not just English. Anyway, just because he could. All right, where I was. We'll start with, we'll go back down to number 4. There is no need to dispute any facts regarding this matter. However, please send the enclosed notices and documents that I previously filed to the prosecutor and judge and inform them that they have had ample time to respond with proof of claim or counterclaim and are now in dishonor by silence, but have opportunity to cure the dishonor either in writing or in court on the 22nd of August, 2023, which is coming up next Tuesday. As agent officer of the court, you are also given an opportunity to cure any defect or dishonor. If I receive no response, I will accept the dishonor and ask that you issue a formal notice of dishonor. Unrebutted affidavits stand as truth in law. Okay, so what did I give them? And see, it's filed, these notices. I just gave them notice that, I'm a non-citizen national with regard to the United States. I'm a non-resident alien with regard to the United States. I don't have any wet ink contract with Maui Second Circuit Court. Prove that are you claiming that I'm the decedent? Because a lot of times that's a probate court that you're in, etc. Anyway, so that I haven't accepted your oath of office. I mean, on and on and on. That I voluntarily gifted you any funds. That you're not making claims against my estate, etc. That nobody filled out an SSA 89 on my behalf. That you guys didn't send in a Form 211 on my behalf, etc. Right? All these different things. And that you are a qualified direct debt collector with regard to the Fair Debt Collection Practices Act at 15 USC, etc. All right, because I've been threatened with violence and imprisonment if I don't pay certain debts that they created out of thin air because of statute. So, rather than dispute any of this, just use my exemption and get rid of it. I am not now, nor have I ever been, nor can I ever be the same person as the all-caps Ben H. Rogers. Ben Hosea being born 7th March, Ben H. Rogers being created, registered 13th March, 1964. I am the source and principal, but I am not agent, citizen, dependent, officer, or employee of the United States or state of Hawaii, nor am I resident alien of the District of Columbia. Regardless, please use my exemption to settle this matter. Simple as that. And thanks for coming, guys. Hit the like button. And you might want to share this. And like I said, watch it in parts. And part of the reason why I'm reading you this is so that you can think about this. Let's see here. I claim all bonds created for the cases and will bond the matter myself if it is not discharged offset promptly. Once properly discharged and offset, there should be nothing to claim unless there are excess funds after the discharge. Therefore, the point is probably moot, but please send the enclosed documents anyway. And to this end, I require the penal sum on any and all bonds created. If you don't know what these terms mean, look them up and educate yourself. The penal sum. If you look at these, there are 3 bonds here that I attached, and I did not fill them out. But just to let them know that I know, so they know I know. Here's the bid bond. And if you look right there on the bid bond, it asks for the penal, well, it's going to be backwards, but it asks for the penal sum on the thing, right? Here is the payment bond, and again, it asks for the penal sum. And then here is the performance bond, and that's the one I would use to bond the case. And again, it asks for the penal sum. Now, I'm not going to write bonds unless they force me to, because they refuse to discharge it. But once you write bonds over the case, as living man, as the only thing that's not a corporate dead entity and not a public servant, you own the case. Okay. 6, I claim all bonds created for the cases, and I will bond the matter myself if it's not discharged, offset promptly. Once properly discharged, the offset should be, I just read that, there should be nothing to claim unless there are excess funds after the discharge. Therefore, the point is probably moot, but please send the enclosed documents anyway. And to this end, I require the penal sum on any of the bonds created. Please find 2 sets of copies enclosed. Okay, so I sent this twice because I should have given him 3 so he could send one to the court, but I sent 2 copies of this so that he could give one to the judge and one to the prosecutor. Note stamps are canceled in my capacity as private non-resident alien postmaster in the unlikely event that I will require involvement of the UPU. I have copied this correspondence to the clerk of the court, and they refused it. Mailbox rule applies. Anyway, I grant also, the other thing that applies is 18 USC, I don't remember what it is. Hold on a second here. We'll just have fun with it. I literally got a turn away business. Let's see here. Let's see, that would be in sent. And that would be there. And that would be 18 USC 2076, Clerk of the United States District Court. Whoever being a clerk of district court of the United States, notice it doesn't say United States of America, willfully refuses or neglects to make or forward any report, certificate, statement, or document as required by law, shall be fined under this title or imprisoned not more than 1 year or both. And I think that the fine is $25,000. If you go look up the, what do you call? But anyway, the idea being is that they're supposed to file the documents, and I sent it to them by registered mail, and they refused it. I grant you temporary limited power of attorney for this matter only, and appoint you as temporary trustee agent so that you may act as authorized representative for Ben H. Rogers, and settle this debt as a third-party intervener and attorney in fact. I've already notified concerned Secretary of State of my resignation as agent in this matter, and I have copies of those notices in here. And they're short notices. That's why this document is long. But if you look at the notices, here's the notice to Illinois, and it's 1 page, well, 2 pages, right? And here's the, and it also sends them the U.S. Citizen and Immigration Services document saying that they can't find any evidence that I'm a U.S. citizen, because I'm not. And then the certified certificate of registration also sent to state of Illinois. And I had to send that certified mail because state of Illinois, because they're swindlers, liars, cheats, and thieves and controlled by Democrats, won't accept registered mail. And there's a reason for that. Hawaii still does. Sylvia Luke accepted this, and I have the green cards copies back, so that I sent Sylvia Luke and Alexei Gino Nolius, I believe it is, I don't know what his name is, in Illinois, that I was resigning as agent. Okay, and I got nothing back from them that says, you can't resign, because they don't get to say whether I can resign. I get to, you have all the authority. You have the ability to declare who you are, what you are, where you are, etc. And that also has to do with the International Covenant on Civil and Political Rights. It's the first clause, the first thing, the right to self-determination is your right. Right, you Hawaiians, with your right to self-determination, the Kanaka Maoli, it's undisputed. internationally. They cannot tell you who you are, but they can trick you into telling them that you're a U.S. citizen, and it's a trick, which is fraud. And their own Supreme Court has said on more than one occasion that you have to knowingly and willingly, right? I read that to you last time. Anyway, okay. I claim all bonds. I did that already. Let's see here. I grant you temporary limited power of attorney for this matter, right? And appoint you as temporary trustee agent so you may act as authorized representative for the all caps name and settle this debt as a third party intervener and attorney. In fact, I've already notified the Secretary of State. I'm reading everything to you twice. See the copies enclosed. Power of attorney and trusteeship cease upon discharge or not later than 60 days from receipt of this rogatory. So he received these documents, I believe, on Thursday. So he has 60 days from Thursday to take care of this matter, or we'll have to re-up. 8, I also request that any and all public and private costs, fees, charges, and restitution, or any other obligations that might come out of the Second Circuit as any orders in this matter be discharged by exchange of Ben H. Rogers' exemption for settlement and closure, which I, the man, hereby authorize in my capacity as creditor, source, and principal of the legal fiction Ben H. Rogers, Ben H. Rogers. The defendant under exemption number, and I gave them my numbers, right? Which is my social security number, and right, with no dashes, and the transit routing number with dashes. I do not expect that your services be provided without consideration. And I asked the guy, send me a freaking agency agreement. Anyway, I do not expect your services to be provided without consideration or pro bono. Please provide me with an agency agreement and invoice so that I may accept and return said invoice for value and direct the exemption of Ben H. Rogers to be used as a consideration exchange for your services. Because right, he's got to do all kind of stuff, right? Mail stuff for me, to appear for me in court, all this other. Okay, so you don't got to work for free, bro. Okay, I respectfully request that any other service that you may perform for the undersigned in this matter be approved by the undersigned before said performance is undertaken. In other words, if it's not in here, you're not authorized. Please take note that internal regulations and business as usual do not qualify as substantive legal defects. According to public law, there is no money, nor court can tell me how to pay a debt or other tax. I have the Sixth Amendment right to be informed of the nature and cause of action. They only ever inform you of the cause. The cause is statute, but they don't inform you of the nature. The nature is commerce. It's commercial. Anyway, the right to be informed of the nature and cause of the action. The cause is statutory, but the nature is commercial at this administrative court. They try to pretend like they're judicial courts, and they also try to pretend like they're not private for-profit corporations. Hence my use of the exemption. The exemption was created just for this purpose, to amicably discharge and or offset debts in the public or private. You are hereby directed to do so. I claim all excess funds regarding these cases. The man has superior claim. I have been unwittingly dishonoring the court by my use of Federal Reserve notes as payment, as these notes are evidence of debt, not credit. Use the lawful exemption instead. Please be advised and take note that I am aware of the following, and I'm making you aware of the following. 15 U.S.C. at Section 1692, that's the Fair Debt Collection Practices Act. 18 U.S.C. 4, go look that up. 18 U.S.C. 891, particularly Sections 1 and 4. That's basically HJR 192 codified. And Public Law 10, Chapter 48, Stat 112. We're going to get into it in this document right here in just a second. Okay. But see, I'm not referencing HJR 192. Okay, Supreme Court case Brady versus United States. And I'm going to read this again, and we should commit this sentence to memory, but you should go over and look at the whole case. But especially Hawaiians, especially Kanaka Maoli. You should look and understand this Supreme Court case. Waivers of constitutional rights, waivers of constitutional rights not only must be voluntary, but must be knowingly intelligent acts done with sufficient awareness of the relevant circumstances and likely consequences. Now, for a lot of Kanaka Maoli, that does not apply because they're not U.S. citizens. They're not U.S. persons. Although they may have implied by action or by contract that they are, because they were tricked into marriage certificates and birth certificates and driver's licenses and all these things. And on all of those documents, you have to swear under penalty of perjury that you're a U.S. citizen. And if you claim that you're a Native Hawaiian on all these other documents, when it comes to OHI and all this other stuff, Native Hawaiian, go look it up. The term means, and see, this is what words of art and terms means, U.S. citizen. You're not U.S. citizens. The U.S. corporation came here in 1959 and took you guys over and tricked you into giving birth certificates and saying that you were U.S. citizens so that you could pay the tax on the debt that was created by our founding fathers fighting the wars against the crown. The crown, cleverly, the king being no fool, bought up the debt and then created this corporation in 1871 called United States, which sounds suspiciously like United States of America, except left off the A, and knew that we would all just assume that U.S. was short for USA. It's not. They're two completely different entities. One is de jure, and one is the corporation that was designed and is administered by Bar Association attorneys, which, and by the way, the Bar is the British Accredited Registry. They work for the Crown directly. They have titles, Esquire. You're considered a Mr. when you walk in the court. They always try to call me Mr. Rogers, which puts me under the jurisdiction of one of the Esquires. The Esquires are under the jurisdiction of the Crown, and the Crown is collecting its debt that our founding fathers created. In 1871, this corporation was made. The company is bankrupt. United States is bankrupt. The corporation is bankrupt. The last bankruptcy went into receivership in 1999. 70 years before that, that was a 70-year bankruptcy. In 1929, let's see, what happened in 1929? Because every time, and what happened right after that when people were starting to say, is there going to be a Jubilee or we're going to do, oh, then they did 9/11 and they did the whole, no, it's an emergency. And then you go back from 1929, go back 70 years, and oh, way back to 1859. Oh, then what do? They had a war and got us to kill each other. Well, not the Hawaiians, but if they could have got you Hawaiians to come and fight, they would have. But the idea being is that we had this thing called a civil war, and 600,000 Protestants killed each other over the fact that the southern states were like, we don't know that fucking debt, and you can't make us pay it. So they walked out. And the Union under our buddy Abraham Lincoln was, oh, no, you're not walking out on this. You're going to help us pay us this debt back to the Crown. Okay, anyway, so we fought a war over it. They just did an armistice. There is no peace treaty. There is no. All right, so in 1871, after being having Reconstruction and having the Marines basically run the place for 6 years, they came up with this corporation to administer the United States and trick you into thinking that the United States of America was still a thing. And what happened was the bar attorneys took over all the state houses. They're in our courthouse here on Maui. They took over every freaking thing, all the way down to your school boards. It's all lawyers. It's all bar attorneys. And by the way, those bar attorneys, there were about 40,000 of them, and this you can look up, 45,000 of them that were state citizens. In other words, they were not United States citizens. They were not citizens of the corporation. They understood the concept and got their rights under state citizenship. And lo and behold, most of those guys were attorneys. Well, now there's a couple million of us that have figured it out. And I'm going to put some links below. Again, B.J. Williams doing some fine work educating. Okay, here's my favorite part of this. Under 14A, per 8 U.S.C. 1101A23, the term, and see, it's a term. The term naturalization means the conferring of nationality of the state upon the person after birth by any means whatsoever. By any means whatsoever. Therefore, I confer the nationality of Illinoisan, or of Illinois State, and see, I almost put State of Illinois, and see, because I'm so trained, but no, it's Illinois State upon myself. Illinois State is its own country, basically. So anyway, I confer the nationality of Illinois State upon myself. Thus, I'm an Illinoisan by birth and formal declaration. Foreign to United States, non-resident alien of District of Columbia. I'm not a resident alien. It's not me. Okay. 15. I am now aware that I am waiving. Wait a minute. I am now aware that I am waiving my rights by simply appearing in the courtroom, and by such performance, I implied that I was waiving my rights and consenting. See, that's implied consent. And actions speak louder than words. And let he who wishes to be deceived be deceived. I am not in receipt of any signed and dated orders requiring my appearance. Oh, look what I have. Look, 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 looky, looky, looky. Oh, brah. This is supposed to be on color copy. I have a color copy of it. Anyway, can you see? You can barely see it, and it's backwards. Anyway, he didn't date it. He didn't sign his order. And see, look who it's to. Right? All caps. Always in all caps. It says to Ben H. Rogers, also known as Ben Hosea Rogers. But then they took Ben Hosea Rogers off the docket. And they have my date of birth and my social security number XX'd out. So they just say 1964. Ben H. Rogers, that date right there is the 13th of March. That is not the 7th of March. See, they're very freaking clever and devious. Anyway, these orders are not signed. And see, this is in red and yellow. Let's see, do I have one? I should put that in here and put that one over there. Hold on a second. Yes, there I have it. Boink. And see, and on the back of it. Yeah, I'll put that there. Anyway, more better. You can see it's in color, and I highlighted it so you can't miss it. And then on the back of it, I put a little, please forgive me, I made a mistake. I am the living man, Rogers Ben Hosea, born living 7th March, and seeing it just over and over again, telling them that there's a difference between that one, right? Having attained the age of majority on the 7th of March of 1982, that's how freaking old I am. I sometimes do business as Ben Hosea Rogers, Ben H. Rogers. Ben Hosea Rogers, Ben H. Rogers, was created on 13th March and cannot be the same person. I, the man, Rogers Ben Hosea, am not the same person as the trade or business name Ben Hosea Rogers, Ben H. Rogers. I apologize for the confusion, as I have mistakenly claimed, and I have, to be the name, but I am merely the name holder. I beg your pardon, please forgive me, my sins, and this trespass. And sign, thumbprint, seal, and I've sent this to numerous people, so I got to change that date, but I'll put that in here. Anyhow, fraud, and then when it's not fraud, it's fraud. Fraudulent fraudsters who are fraudy. Anyway, so you just show up, and by performance, you're considered guilty. And by performance, they called the all caps name. They didn't call the man. They called the DBA. They called the all caps. And you show up. And then when they say, will Ben H. Rogers or Ben Hosea Rogers please rise? Or will the defendant please rise? You rise. Or when they say, state your name, and you state your name. And you state it the way they have it written. But nah, it's Rogers Ben Hosea. And you know why it's Rogers Ben Hosea? Because Rogers Ben Hosea is the name holder. Dun, 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 dun. Right, see, you got to do all this stuff. Can't just walk in the court, because I have walked in the court, and I can tell you directly how well that worked, where I said, I'm not consenting. And they're like, so what, slave? We don't give a shit if you're consenting or not. Everything that you've done says that you're consenting. You seem to be double-minded. Because you seem to be standing here saying you're not consenting when you don't even need to be here because you're the living man, and we called this fictional entity. So send your representative instead, which would be the public defender. See where I'm going with this, kids? All right, so, like I said, it's fraud, but it doesn't matter. All right, so over here, oh, wait, where is that? Oh, here's my certificate of existence from the state of Minnesota. So you got to go over to Minnesota and okay. So and here is my Office of Minnesota assumed name. So there's the assumed name certificate from the Office of Minnesota, letting you the offices of the Minnesota Secretary of State. Ben Rogers copyrighted, by the way, because I own the copyright on this. Name holders, and I should have put my common law wife on here too. She put me because I'm the name holder for her. So if she ever gets called in the court, I can show up for her because I hold that name. But Rogers Ben Hosea. So my two sons are on there, JM and BI, and me are all name holders for this thing. Okay, so there is no longer any kind of assumption there. I am only the name holder. I am not the all caps name. All right, so I sent all this stuff in. They have been noticed of the fact. And then I have the OSO offices here. All right. What's this got to do with Lahaina? A lot. Let's see here. Where did I end? Okay. So I am not in receipt of any signed and dated orders requiring my appearance. That's when I got all excited and grabbed the documents that weren't signed, and I highlighted in color, and I put those in here instead. They should be in the original. Because see, this is an original wet ink signature. You can feel it, and you can feel it. Anyway. Okay. Where was I? If I am required to appear in personam on August 22nd, please furnish me with signed and dated orders stating same, and that the presence of the man is required in addition to the person known as Ben H. Rogers, whom you are authorized to represent. Otherwise, I will assume your representation of Ben H. Rogers as temporary trustee agent is sufficient and all that is required to settle this matter. I am not in receipt of any proof of claim regarding jurisdiction over the living soul or flesh and blood man. I do not dispute the corporation's authority over the juristic entity, all caps Ben H. Rogers, whom you are representing. There is no controversy. Asking questions and stating facts creates none. That is a maxim of law. If you can state verifiable facts, like, stating that it was this that started the Lahaina fires, that's not a verifiable fact. That creates controversy. But we have some pretty good evidence now. Eyewitness accounts and video accounts of strange flashes of light and fires appearing. But that's all up country. I have nothing for Lahaina. Although there's certainly evidence of stuff. I mean, anyway. Okay, I trust you have all... Get it? I trust. I trust you have all documents required at your disposal. But I have included all documents I thought necessary. And you know what I forgot to put in there? The 1040V. To settle this matter for your convenience. But please forward me copies of all documents executed on my behalf, along with any court orders evidencing settlement and discharge. In accordance with 28 USC 1746-1, Mark 1019, and Ecclesiastes 5:5. Ecclesiastes 5:5 is if you give an oath, don't, you sign your name or give an oath, honor the thing. Mark 10:19, basically the commandments, but it basically says don't defraud. And 28 USC 1746-1 is without United States, without the District of Columbia in United States of America. Clause 2 is if you're in United States. Anyway. And I could go on, but I'm going to stop there. All right. And see, and I made a whole fun, I don't know what to do with it. Oh, right here, document. Our chief of police got okay, he was not the chief of police in, when it came to, because they're saying, oh, he was the same chief of police in Las Vegas when the shootings were. No, he wasn't chief of police, he was a captain. He was the information liaison or the situation coordinator or whatever for the shootings in Las Vegas. He lied so well that he got a promotion to chief. And not only did he get a promotion to chief, he got a freaking assignment on Maui in paradise. Everybody, when I was being extradited illegally from Arizona, everybody was like, man, I wish I was going back with you. I wish I was going back with you. All the sheriffs, every single one of them, everybody that in this holding cell, all of that. Wow, you're going to Maui? I'm like, yep, going back to Maui. Right? Maui is the place, brah. And by the way, Maui not closed. Lahaina definitely closed. But you gotta come and support the businesses in Paia and Makawao and Kihei and so forth, because now those people are suffering because, from what I'm hearing, it's as quiet as it was during COVID because everybody canceled their reservations and now nobody's making tips. Businesses are, nobody's doing activities. Nobody's, right? Okay, how are they gonna support the guys in Lahaina? Right? Because they want you to not be, they want the guys in the rest of the island to suffer so that we cannot send you food and money and so forth, and that you have to get money from FEMA, and you have to get money from the Red Cross, and you have to get money from federal agencies so that you can be considered a dependent of United States, which makes you a U.S. citizen, which makes you have to give up your rights. Because when you take benefits, you don't get benefits for free. There's privileges. When you get those benefits, they expect something in return, and that something in return is your cessation of rights. Are you getting it? This is why they didn't want the food to come in. They want you to become a dependent, because if you're a dependent officer or employee of United States corporation, they have absolute and utter juristic control over you, especially if you identify as the name, especially if you have a driver's license, and everybody out there does, and especially if you have documents that say you're Native Hawaiian, and you go look and see what the definition of Native Hawaiian is. Not what you think. You think it's somebody born on the islands. No, it says, first freaking thing it says, definition of Native Hawaiian is U.S. citizen. It says it like 3 different times. You kanaka maole. Right? I'm not kanaka maole. Right? I'm kanaka haole. I'm not even kanaka Hawaiian, because even though my sons were born here, they're not kanaka Hawaiian either. They're kanaka haole. Right? Foreign, not from here. They were born on the land, but they're not subjects of the king or the monarchy. Right? And because they're my sons, they are Americans. I am an American. Hawaiians are not Americans. They're not Americans. They will never be Americans. They are Hawaiians. See, and they use wordfare, grammarfare, and lawfare against you. And then they try to trick you. And now they put you in a horrifying situation where, of course, you want to get benefits or try to, survive, feed your children. And when you do, and you take benefits from the demons, they consider that they have jurisdiction over you and your children. And they can call you into court. And they can tell you what to do. And they can tell you all manner of things. Right? Deny you your right to travel. Anyway, we fucking started here. Let me read you this. Getting upset. No need to get upset. No emergency justifies the violation of any of the provisions of the United States Constitution. That's 16 American Jurisprudence, 2nd, 7-1. No emergency. Not the invisible thing that they had to do this for. None of it. Okay. Looky here. This is called a live claim. Letting them know that I'm alive and that I'm not the dead thing that you name and numbered. Because what they name and number is the placenta. And then they burn it. But that's not a joke. Look it up. NoJellyfish.xyz doesn't exist anymore, but there was Kurt Kallenbach did extensive research on the fact that they name and number every freaking thing, and the thing that they name and numbered you thought was you. It was your monster dead twin that was severed at birth in the delivery room, and they name and numbered that thing. And that's the thing that has a trust. That's why it's a decedent. That's why I let the IRS know, hey, wait a minute, I'm non-decedent. You're dealing with a living man. The all caps name, that's the decedent. That's the thing. That's the thing you numbered. That's the thing that has a social security number. That's the thing that has a trust account. That's the thing that, right? Okay. Stuff is not actually that difficult. It's actually so simple it's ridiculous. And the fraud is, and that's the problem, is it's too easy. That's what B.J. Williams was talking about. He figured out that actually it's too simple. Okay, let's take a break. Let's take a short break. Take a short pause. How far are in? Bro, only 1 hour. Okay. So, like I said, I noticed that the longer ones get better views than the short ones. This is backwards again, but this is organic rosemary. Great for growing your hair, great for memory. Essential oil is good. And the one I don't have out here is organic thyme. Thyme, you rub it on your chest, and it's good for your thymus gland and opening up your oxygen. And look, it's only, what time is it? It's only 3 o'clock, and the mail just came. They have been slammed at Wailuku Post Office. Just crazy, because all the mail from Lahaina has been coming in over there. Okay, where do I want to go? Where I want to go is here now. Okay, notice in all my documents, I did not mention HJR 192 and say, oh, you know, you created a debt against me, and according to HJR 192, you know, there is no money and you have to execute. Okay, HJR 192 was repealed without, in 1983. Go look it up. All right, but here we're going to go over this document. And like I said, for some reason, they took this off the internet. It has been removed. I don't know if you can find it now. Actually, let's go see if, oh crap, I don't know how I'd go about doing that. But I'd have to do some sending, and it would take too long here, because what's fast for me, click, 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 it's you guys sitting around waiting for it. It's, yeah, okay. But if you try to find this document, you're not going to find this document. How come you not can find this document? Why would they want to hide this from you? Okay, so this is Larry and Kevin going back and forth on whether HJR is still in effect, and so forth. So if it is, as you say then, that we need to bring treason charges against every member of Congress because Article 1, Section 10, Clause 1 states, no state shall make anything but gold and silver coin a tender in payment of debts. I believe we're going back to gold and silver. I believe this to be true. Get some of this while it's at 23. While they got that, get some of this stuff right here. These are dollars. This thing right here is worth like 40 bucks right there. You can't get them for less than that, $30, $40, because the premiums and so forth. All right, here, and this is about to go bye-bye. But look what I got. I got some lovely, these things are worth, cost me $200 and $8 for the governor. If I would have sent this to Idaho or Arizona, there would have been $8 tax. But these, 20 of them worth about $200. So each one of these worth about 10 bucks. But back when I was born, this was just a 50-cent piece. Think about how much you've, right? Okay, 1964, that's Kennedy right there. That's them laughing at you, by the way. Right? Silver, silver, silver. They took all the silver out of our money in 1964. Anyway, so there's 20 bucks right there. What can I get with 20 bucks? See, so for two 50-cent pieces, can I buy a couple gallons of gas? In fact, I can buy 3 gallons of gas, 4 gallons of gas with these two. See, it's not that the prices, the gas is worth so much more. It's that the fact that the Federal Reserve notes are becoming worth less and less and less. And this month, in fact, next week, they may go to 0 or close to it. Don't panic or anything. But the fact that the BRICS are saying, screw you guys, I'm going home. We're going to have our own money because we've been using our money as a weapon. And us guys over here in the United States, I have become fairly comfortable with using this debt right here. But this is evidence of debt. This is not evidence of credit. This is a debt. Okay, so lawful money, ooh, on this side, notice how it's now gold right there. Okay, and one has a black seal, and one has a green seal. Okay, and they encourage you to try to do your paperwork in black ink. The ink color matters. I found this out on accident in my travels because I filled out some documents because they gave me a red pen and then they wouldn't accept the documents because they were in red. Anyway, blue or purple, but not, and red for certain signatures, like this, for example, when I'm claiming to be alive. But on all these other documents, this one right here, for example, I just did a red thumbprint, but the signature is in purple. Prince went with purple for a reason. Study that guy. He knew what was going on. They tried to make him seem like he was crazy, but he wasn't. He was pretty hip. I ever tell you about the time I wound up in Paisley Park in Minnesota? That was crazy. The people in there were so beautiful. There was this woman that I was going to ask her to dance. This is back in the, what is that, early 90s. Like we're talking like 91, 92, 93, somewhere in there. Anyway, and this one, okay, she had some friends. They were also gorgeous, but, and I mean, total, like, if you look at the old Prince videos, like they were dolled up like that. Her friends all went to go dance, and she was standing there by herself, poking her drink, and she looked lonely. And I'm on vacation, and when I'm on vacation, I have all kind of courage. Plus, I'd been drinking. I was still drinking back then. So I figured I'm going to go ask this ridiculously hot chick to dance. My foot sticks to the floor, and then my next foot sticks to the floor. I literally couldn't walk over to her because she was just, anyway, that good looking. And see, her good looks were actually birth control because no other guy could summon up the courage to go over and talk to her either because she was just hard to describe. But I mean, she fit the American Beauty myth. And she was mixed. She was part, I don't know, she wasn't pure, she wasn't Caucasian, she wasn't black. She was a mixed woman, and oh my God. Anyway, Prince knew what was happening. He knew about all this stuff. And he understood contracts, and he understood the color, and he understood. See, and this is the other thing. Our buddy, Our Lady of Grace, BJ, you got to sign on this side. We sit on the right hand of God, not on the left hand of God. The debtor sits on the left hand of God. So sign your paperwork on the right side. Okay. Going over this. Why am I going over HR 192? That's why this exemption works. Because there is no fucking money. Understand these two tenets, these two basic tenets. There's no fucking money and all crimes are commercial. That's the nature of the crime. Right? The cause of action will always be statute, but the nature is commercial. Those are commercial courts. Those are Article 1 courts. Those are not judicial courts of law. They're doing business. They write bonds. You're not supposed to know that. All right. Got 8 people and only 6 likes. What up? Hit the likes. And this one you might want to share and tell people, the guy's testy. but he means well. And watch it in parts because it's freaking long. All right. But I mean, share it. And if you're Hawaiians, share it with the Hawaiians. Because they are trying, they've been trying to exterminate these people since I got here. And well before that. Anyway, and screw with their minds, and I mean, just government. Get them, like I said. My mom didn't have a birth certificate. My dad didn't have a birth certificate. My grandma didn't want my mother to have a birth certificate, and she didn't want me to have a birth certificate, and she didn't want me to have the same name as was on my birth certificate, so they registered me as Ben H. Rogers instead of Ben Hosea Rogers for a reason, because it doesn't sound the same. But then these courts don't give a rip. So now I'm the name holder, Rogers Ben Hosea, family name first. I mean, my family should not be a part of this, by the way. It should only be the man, Ben Hosea, that'd be me, dealing with this. But I need to stay on the private side. And see, this is the thing. All these other people that you are familiar with, Oprah and Larry Ellison and Bill Gates and Clintons and name them, they're all on the private side. They all understand this stuff. They are not U.S. citizens. Right? They hold the position where they are protected with state citizenship and the constitutions, and they're living men and women. whereas you're considered a dead thing that identifies with the name, right? That's your identity. You got to get into etymology and look up every bit of that word. Res ident. The thing. What's the res? There's a difference between res and personam. See, and when you've been in this long enough, all this stuff comes standard. But when it's new to you, it's like, that's crazy talk. It's not crazy talk, and you can, everything I'm saying to you, you can research for yourself. And I'll give you a real simple crash course from B.J. Williams, who puts it pretty nicely. Also, another friend of mine was saying that she can listen to B.J. Williams because he's a fruitcake, and he makes it interesting and tries to make it entertaining, and he sings songs and so on. And he doesn't get upset. He mostly just laughs. But the idea being that, guys like, why is his name? It's David Straight, or some of these other guys, they're kind of, they're boring. They're dry. They're stale. But they do give you the information. But not all the information is correct. What you're going to find is there are many pitfalls and traps created by these guys. So you got to do your own research. This, what I'm showing you right now, is one of the pitfalls and traps. Do not put this, can I say it again? Don't put this on your documents. Right? What I put on my document was 18 USC 891, sections 1 and 4, and Public Law 10, Chapter 48, Stat 112. And boy, have they got it hidden there. You're going to see all of this stuff. Click on 112 and you'll find it. And in the corner on the document, it'll say this is HJR 192 codified. But if you mention HJR 192, you haven't done your research. Okay. So this is... you can read it. You can screenshot this if you like. Okay, because we're supposed to be able to pay our debts, not just discharge them. But I have no ability to pay. They won't take silver. They won't take species. So use the exemption, bill of exchange. Right? Find out about subrogation also. All right. Here's a huge flaw in your reason that HJR being a joint resolution was a law. It's not. Joint resolutions are not law. It was published as law in U.S. Stat 48-112. It does not have the two aspects, one as a resolution and the other as a law. When it was repealed, it was completely repealed. He doesn't put the date down, but the date was 1983. I believe it was September 13th, 1983. You cannot, as you contend, repeal the resolution, but not the law. See, Larry knows what's up. Larry does research. Okay. So go look up 91 Stat 1129. See, and this is nice. You used to be able to click it, but they took the page down because it was too convenient for you to be able to do the research. Also, if there were Title 31 USC at 5103, right? FRNs and circulations that would be lawful legal tender, seen as how they were deemed to be trade at the nominal exchange rate of 50 to 1 U.S. gold rounds. Okay. So anyway, you can read it. You can read it. Read it. Stop and pause and read. Do your damn research. These guys did it all for you. And then, like I said, I put it on underneath this guy's video, and you can go find that video where it's high frequency radio, where it's like, was HJR 192 repealed? Yes, yes, it fucking was. There it is. So they repealed the Joint Resolution 192, but not the statute at large. Chap 48, Stat 112. All right, and further, congressional resolutions apply only to those who make them, i.e. Congress and their subjects only. Who are the subjects of Congress? Those people who are U.S. citizens. Those people who are resident aliens in District of Columbia, right? United States Congress is judge, jury, and executioner over those U.S. citizens that are resident aliens of Washington, D.C. If you're considered a resident alien of Washington, D.C., and you are, they assume you are implied by performance, you are a resident alien of Washington, D.C., oftentimes by execution of documents, It's just implied and assumed that you are a resident alien of Washington, D.C., and that you are a U.S. citizen, especially when you sign voter registration that says U.S. citizen. Why do you think Trump wants you to sign voter registration for U.S. citizen? Although, and I cannot prove this, this is speculation on my part, he went in front of the Queen, and there's video of it where basically he said, "This thing's over. We're not collect these debts. We're freaking bankrupt, and we're not going to continue. We're in receivership. This thing's done. We're not going to continue to pay you guys for the debts that our founding fathers racked up, and have been continuing to rack up and rack up and rack up and continuously racking up. And then who do we owe? We all the money that you pay in quote unquote income tax. Grace Commission report. Ronald Reagan put that out to the people." But he didn't need to do that. There did need to be a report. It all goes to interest, just interest, not even principal, just the interest on the loan. So of course they want the loan to get bigger and bigger, so that we're always just paying the interest and never paying off the principal. They do that to you with credit cards every day. They do that to college students every day. They do that to with your mortgage and all. They try to put you in debt. Okay, but all of your debts are supposed to be paid because there is no fucking money. Because of what happened in 1933, the emergency resolution. And what happened in 1930? That was right after the last bankruptcy, 3-4 years afterwards, 1929. And then they paid it forward for another time. Okay, so first bankruptcy, they taken money and all this. Okay, eventually they take all the fixtures, and then at last, the last bankruptcy, federal. Anyway, Roosevelt, Franklin, not federal, Franklin Roosevelt pledged the people, us. Well, not us particularly, but we had to volunteer because, there's no such thing as involuntary servitude in the United States of America, unless for a crime. So they make everything a crime. But the idea being is that they couldn't pay the debt, so they got everything else. They got like ports and roads and lands and so on. So the only thing they had left was the labor of the people. So that's what your mother did with that certificate of live birth. She pledged your future labor, all your future labor. Okay. So anyway, if you put HJR 192, that's a ticket to CID IRS because they know that you haven't done your damn research. All right, can you read this? See, they're arguing over whether that's there. But I found 10, that's Public Law 10, stat, see? I was taking a Mason test. Fail! Gotta look at my notes. They get to look at pictures, though. Anyway, let's see here. Public Law 10, Chapter 48, Stat 112. It's a thing. Okay. So they go back and forth over this. Oh, wait, I probably went too fast. So you can pause and read, because like I said, this was important enough to scrub off the internet. See, this didn't happen on May 13th, 2023. This was, I don't know why that date is there, but it was much, I think it's because I don't know. Anyway, updates or whatever. But this was happening in, I believe this argument was taking place, or this exchange was taking place in 2010 or so. See, and they go over this for days. It takes days to do this research. And then they handed it to you here. The illusion of money, known as Federal Reserve notes. Oh, and I have great documents that basically say that they're worthless, that they're worthless instruments. I got to pull that up, but I don't want to go into my pictures because there are pictures that I don't want you to see, and pictures of children that I tutor and stuff like that that I don't want on the nets. Because I take pictures for their parents to show them, oh, this is what we did. Look, they built a tower. Oh, look, we did algebra or whatever. Anyway, so I'd have to scroll through those pictures to get to that document, and I don't want to. But the idea being, and see, I should have just pulled it up someplace. Do I have it? I don't have it handy where I can show you. But anyway, it basically says Federal Reserve notes, worthless. They're worthless. All right. Let's see here. Let's see. Federal Reserve notes, not legal tender. Wells Fargo note, right? Right? Okay, say, look, and these are all things that you could just click the link and it's all been gone. I believe I have most of these, but not all of them on a disk or on a chip somewhere. But you'll have to go look them up. Oh, and I have another document that will be fun to read. And it's long, because these guys were actual, like, serious freaking researchers. Like, it would take you days to read all the stuff that they put out. So there's a link that you can do. Look, it works. That Lexus, that still works. And then, you know, about the statute at large. I mean, they get into it. There you go. October 1997. Oh, it wasn't I thought it was 1983. But anyway, he states that, frankly, I'm not concerned about HJR 192 because it was effectively repealed via a law Congress adopted in October 1997, C91 Stat 1229. They do this on purpose. They make it complicated where you got to look over here and then you got to look over there and you got to look up the definitions. Okay, and here's the other thing, guys. There is an order of operation when it comes to the meaning of words. One, you can define the meaning of words in your document. Okay, and you can tell them what the word means. Okay, so for the purposes of this document, this means this, right? For the purposes of this document, non-citizen national means not a citizen of the United States, not a resident alien of District of Columbia, does mean that I was born on the land in Illinois, etc. Anyway, or wherever you were born, you can define it. Okay, but first things first, and I put it in my other video, and I'll put it below here too. You use the statutes themselves. They tell you what the words mean. So it'll have definitions, and it'll say at 28 USC 3002 that 15A that United States is a corporation. And then they'll try to say, oh, that doesn't mean what it says it means. Yes, it does. And it has a DUNS number. I just gave you the DUNS numbers at the beginning of this. Those are businesses. DUNS numbers are for businesses. Yeah, seeing Devi Kid, all these old school names from way back in the day when I was first going in here. And then you can look up these. And see, it says may be of consequence, right? Or decisions made as a consequence of this, excuse me, not may, that were made as a consequence of this were, right, the far-reaching changes made in monetary law in 1933 and 1934. See, things changed in 1933 and 1934. There is no fucking money and all crimes are commercial. And way back before that, got to remember, in 1933, think about it. This is 2023. 1971 is living memory for me. Barely, because I was like, but I have lots of memories from 1971. I remember my mom making me leave the living room because they were showing footage of the Vietnam War that wasn't suitable for children, and she made me get up out of the living room so I didn't see the carnage that they were showing, that they were broadcasting into the living rooms all over the United States. They don't do that anymore, right? It's all sanitized. You don't see guys shot up and crying and, oh my God. Anyway, let's see all that stuff down the memory hole, right? Down the memory hole. That's how old I am. Anyway, so in 1933, there are plenty of people that were children or were around in the 1870s or when that corporation had first started. And for damn sure, in 20 20s, or when my grandmother was born in 1909, her parents and her parents' parents, and same thing on my father's side. He was born in, when the hell was he born? I don't remember it off the top of my head. See, fail again if I was taking a Mason test. Oh my God. Anyway, can't even remember when your ancestors were born. My mother was born in 30. My father was born in like 1919 or something like that. Okay, and then his father was born in 1895, I believe. I was just looking that up. And then you go back like 2 more generations, and we're back to slavery times, where we got the Rogers name. Because we lost. And they completely lied to us about what happened. And we're starting to figure out that, you know, they lied about the Civil War. They lied about Tartaria. They lied about the buildings that were already here. They lied about the Indians. They lied about every fucking thing. That goes beyond the scope of this. All right. So anyway, way more, right? Okay, and I have the money brief opened up on this computer over here, and holy crap, it's long. Where is that? And I will put that link. Let's see here. I will put that link. Oh, there's the Articles of Confederation. I should put that under there, because those are still apply, by the way, for those of us that are Americans. Peaceable, okay, oh, why have oath of office and how to win? I should probably cover that in here. And oath of office, that's 5 USC 3331 through 3333. And I have some flawed oaths of office. I don't mention it, I don't make a contention, I don't anything, I just put the oaths in here. But I'm going for this, for the sake of this video. Wow, what I just been doing with those oaths? I had them. I'm gonna try to keep all these documents in order, because I haven't labeled the page numbers. But you'll also see the reason why they do. Really? They're here. I know they're here because I was just. Oh, there you go. Trying to keep this originals in order. Look at the print. Is that Times New Roman? That's not Times New Roman. Is that sworn under penalty of perjury, or is that notary right there? It's backwards, but that just says that that's a copy of the original document. That's not a jurat or anything. That this is sworn under penalty of perjury. And let's see here. This one is witnessed. Gee, I have Bison's signature right there. Anyway, so he witnessed this document. And these are oaths of office for a couple of judges. But I noticed there's no anti-bribery statements attached. I noticed they're not signed under penalty of perjury. I noticed a lot of things that are wrong with these documents. But I never say nothing. I just accept their oaths. Because, see, here's how this works. They have an oath to the bar, which supersedes their oath to the Constitution. However, the bar has an oath to the Constitution because they're not allowed to administer the business of the United States of America in contravention to the constitutions. So yes, these guys' oath to the bar supersedes their oath to the United States. But United States is a corporation anyway. See, it's not that convoluted. It's actually pretty simple. And United States Corporation is doing the business of United States of America. And what we're witnessing right now, the insanity that we're witnessing right now, is the resolution of that nonsense, where the Civil War is coming to an end. Us paying the Crown all this money for debt, it's all changing. And the federal, this is coming back. These things is coming back. But in the meantime, you might want to get yourself some silver and not gold, because silver is, what is it, 85 coins for 85 ounces of silver for 1 ounce of gold. Nah, brah, you like the silver. It's going to be worth a whole lot more. So get yourself some silver, especially right now. It's 23 bucks. There's this thing, I got to put a link to it. There's a Dogecoin, silver coin. I got to get it. Got to get one of those. It's like $27. It's a waste of money, but at the same time, I got to get one because it's like, wow, so much coin. It's just hilarious. Anyway, back to this one fast one. See, and look, we haven't even got through this. It takes forever to get through all of this. But understand, like, read this stuff. Read it and understand it. And look up the words. And then there's a sentence that I can't get it. That is more important. Sovereigns are always self-insured. Because buying health insurance and auto insurance, those are benefits. And then there's a way to self-insure yourself. Understanding promissory notes and understanding signatures and understanding, bonding and so forth. But if you get into an accident, you better be able to make the other person whole if you're at fault. Especially as a Christian. You should be making them 3 times whole. Right? If you caused $1,000 of damage to the other guy's car, you should give him back $3,000 with an apology. Not try to get out of it. But most of you can't do it because it comes to money. It comes down to money. Because you don't know how to insure yourself. Because you don't know how to write bonds. Because you don't know how to do anything. On purpose. You've been defrauded on purpose. Okay, so let me find the money issue here, 1. And see, this thing goes forever. And I will probably not cover all of that. But I will put it, I know it's here. Oh, and then I got to talk about Weiss and Associates. Bro, they got such good videos. All kind of good stuff there. How to deal with stuff. Anyway, they're boring, though, is the thing. Well, I don't know if they're boring, but they're stale. For those of you that are thirsty for knowledge, that's going to be a treasure trove. Let's see here. Okay, it's not one of those. Hold on a second here. There's my original certificate of resignation. That was a template that I used. See, and that's the thing. I don't use templates. I write my own damn documents. And you should write your own documents too. Let's see here. There you go. Memorandum of law on the money issue. I should put that. I'll put this below later. Okay. Bro, this thing is thick. But this was updated last in August 29, 2009. And then updated July 1st, 2017 with new links added. I put this on the Wayback Machine in case they want to, try to destroy this document or remove it from the internets. But it goes on forever. What parts do I want to talk about? Or do I just want to have you read it for yourself? But you need to understand the stuff that's in your pocket. Because you're considered to be a pro. You're considered to be an expert because you have that money in your pocket. And they use that against you. Because you carry around script. You should carry around silver so they know you're not a pauper. Always. And see, that's the other thing. They caught me by surprise. Because all the stuff that I knew how to do, I didn't have a red pen with me. I didn't have, because they were just, come downstairs and sign these documents. Total ruse, total fraud. And then they made all these assumptions that I was a fugitive of justice. They're going to have to prove that claim. And if I wasn't a fugitive of justice, then they couldn't arrest me. But see, then that puts me under the purview of the people who have the guns and badges. And in that case, it was the Maricopa County, I don't know if it was what police force it was, because they have which are all, by the way, private corporations. What was the Gilbert, I believe it was, police force. It wasn't Phoenix. But anyway, they do all kinds of things to get you into their jurisdiction. So anyway, this memorandum of law on the money issue talks about pre-constitutional concepts of money, understanding gold and silver as a value and medium of exchange, not pieces of paper, because what you were supposed to do was be able to take one of those pieces of paper and exchange it for gold or silver, and they finagled that out of it and stole all of our money from you. But in 1933, they said, well, since we took all your money, and since we took all your gold and silver, and we took all the money out of the gold out of the pockets of the citizenry, because, it was a waste, the bankers said. And see, the men who were against this back in 1913, they all went down on the Titanic, conveniently. Coincidence? See, at the age of 59, I'm no longer a believer in coincidence. I don't think it was a coincidence that they changed all the laws so that the governor could do whatever the hell he wanted with the zoning if there was a natural disaster at wherever it was. And then there just happens to be a natural disaster that wipes out Lahaina, so now they can put tall buildings there if they want to. Well, they think. Anyway, and that happened a couple weeks before. And now it just so happens they want Maui to be a smart island, and they want they want Maui to be a smart island governed by AI. It's not a joke. It's not a conspiracy theory. The meetings are happening next month. And see, the people that are going to be most affected by this are going to barely be able to function because their house just burned down. They're dealing with funerals. They're dealing with loss of loved ones. They're dealing with, these guys are not dumb. So it's going to be hard to make but you're still going to have to make a concerted effort to show up and tell them, no. But see, the Hawaiians are used to this. There is no treaty of annexation. They lied about that. Okay, so then colonial monetary experiments. So see, this just know your history, because if you don't know your history, you don't know where you are. When they talk about what happened and, our continentals went, okay. And then the period of revolution and the Articles of Confederation. So maybe you should know the Articles of Confederation also. So now we're about up to 1777. And see, auspicious date, which is why I thought it was very auspicious that on my registration, or my registered mail, it's 777. In fact, it's a bunch of sevens because it's 190-877-7777. This universe is not what you think. Oh, and I gotta put a link to Archaics, because Jason, using his calendrics, he thought that it was going to be volcanic, but he predicted ahead of time that there was going to be fire and ruin and destruction in Hawaii. But he was sure that it was because of volcanoes. Nope, turned out to be wildfires that are suspicious. Oh, that's just conspiracy. And I'm in agreement. But, people need to be looking at this because they're going to sweep as much as they could under the rug. So you need to be looking for evidence of this conspiracy. But the most important thing now is getting people fed, identifying the bodies, figuring out how many are dead, figuring out what are we going to do with all these displaced people. Why isn't there any communication out there? Well, it seems that I have communication, but I wasn't a first-hand eyewitness, was I? So all the first-hand eyewitnesses having a very hard time making videos and putting stuff up or even uploading anything because they don't have internet. They can't even get cell phone calls. So the side of the story that you're hearing is one side of the story, and then there's this other side of the story, and then our governor has the gall to say, oh, social media. You don't want to believe what you read on social media. Crazy guys like this, right? Spouting conspiracy theories. The worst place to get information. Eyewitness video, eyewitness accounts, people that were in the water, people that were down at the harbor, people that took video, people that were in their cars not able to get out of Lahaina, people that were walking on the side of the street asking the police officers, why is it that these cars aren't being, they're not being let out? Oh, because I'm under orders to hold, right? Why are they being redirected down into the place? I mean, we got some questions. Right? Negligence. Like I said, I'll put my thing down there, my Facebook link, and you can peruse my page. Nobody else has seen my posts because I've been throttled down. Okay. Period 2, A Different Day, from the Civil War to 1933. So see, this covers it. It covers all this. You want to read this document. And I don't feel like going through all of it, but I will be putting much of it here. Well, not much of it. I'll be putting a link to it here. And I saved it offline, just like this document, just in case, because like I said, this thing is gone. So then the period 3, the War on Specie. So this is from 1933 to 1968, wherein they took silver out of the money. And then period 5, 1968 to the present, where flat law or fiat law equals fiat currency, right? And that's what we're using now is fiat. The impolicy of the present currency system. See, this currency system is coming to an end, and you better get your mind wrapped around the fact that everything that you've known my whole life, I've used fiat currency my entire life. My grandma was clever enough she understood that the silver coins were going to be more valuable than the slugs, and she saved a few of those from the 1960s, 1965, 6, 7, 8. There was still plenty of coins in currency, but they all came out of currency, or they all came out of circulation, and people saved them or hoarded them because they're real silver, 90% silver. Now our money is slugs and paper. That system is about to change. It's not a joke. They're going to change the system. And then understand what the BRICS are doing. I should put some links down there. It has direct effect on you. Let's see here. Sometimes you just read the end, and it's good. Since the advent of fiat paper money, our nation has suffered from the identical ills which the framers of the Constitution endured. Inflation is endemic, taxes are constantly rising, crime is rampant, Americans are unemployed, and that great institution, the American family, is about to disintegrate. It's all but disintegrated. These are always the direct social consequences whenever any nation is permitted its currency to be debauched and replaced with paper. And history has clearly shown this. And see, I'm summing it up at the end, but I mean, this is a long document that you need to read, and he talks about it going back into the days, gives you the history of it, what happens when you use paper currency. And this is what happens every time. Where we are right now, this is what happens. Neither the national executive or legislative branches display any inclination to remedy this severe social problem. Further, state governors and legislatures, all afflicted with lack of knowledge for the true nature of coin, credit, and circulation, and are thus impotent to offer any kind of redress, are thus impotent to offer redress. However, the judiciary of our nation does offer hope and has a ready remedy. It can implement and revitalize the perfect solution found in Article 1, Section 10, Clause 1 of the Constitution. Go look them up. That has the thing to say about nothing but gold and silver shall be used. Okay, the point of this altogether is, okay, in my court case, ain't no money. I can't use paper to discharge the debt. Okay, I've been given an exemption. Nobody told me how to use the exemption. I had to figure that out for myself. My lawyer tried to pretend like he didn't know about the exemption. The judge was very clear to me that he understood what I was trying to do and that I wasn't allowed to do it because I got to stay on the private side. So I got to have an agent act for me or act as my own agent, and I don't have the paperwork in to act as my own agent because I would need to go get some EINs from the IRS. 98 EIN. There's 3 different EINs you need. Patrick Devine talks about those and so forth. But you can get EINs and then you become your own individual private banker. Your own, right? I'm acting as my own postmaster. As you can see, every document in the bottom corner is stamped. Why? And then, oh, this one doesn't have it. I should put that on there. The original, this is the original, but a dollar stamp right here that's canceled. I should put that on there right now while I'm thinking about it. Because I copied all these without the dollar stamp on there, so I could put dollar stamps on there. But why do you want to put dollar stamps and 3-cent stamps on the back of all your postage? So you can get the Universal Postal Union involved if need be. You're going to go to your postmaster in Wailuku. They're going to be clueless. Or you're going to go to your postmaster in Lahaina. They're going to be clueless. Or you're going to go to your postmaster in Kahului. They're going to be clueless or pretend they're clueless. And after 21 days, you'll be able to say, hey, I have an issue with this paperwork. For example, they didn't accept it, even though I sent it to them registered mail. what are you going to do about it? And they're going to say nothing. So then you have to get the Universal Postal System union involved. And apparently those guys don't fuck around. So there's some people on Maui that are going to fuck around and find out, or they're going to discharge this debt. One of the two. We'll find out together, and we'll come back and see what happens. Let's see here. What else I want to do? I'm going to put this in the thing. This is the what is it? One stupid fuck. See, and I know why he's doing all of this, because can you hold this guy to account when his website is onestupidfuck.com? Really, you're going to take advice from a guy that calls himself one stupid fuck? So he's not liable. You need to do your own damn research. But he's got crap tons of research here. Now, here's the thing I'm going to say. Anna von Reitz. Stay the fuck away from Anna von Reitz. And this guy a little bit reminds me of Anna von Reitz because he's got so damn much stuff. But it's also because I can see it. Once you get into this, you become obsessed. Ask my sons and my girlfriend how much time I spend reading and doing this stuff. It's an obsession. Because it's amazing. And what we should have done is learn this in high school. But what they do is teach you a bunch of crap that is of no use. And then when you get out, you're driving around with a license. You've registered your car. You've registered your children. You've registered your guns. You don't understand the words. Child rents. Who are you renting your children from? You're renting your children from the government because you signed them over to them and then they rent them back to you. They're child rents, but we use the word children. The pair that rents. Pair rents. You are the pair that rents the children. The children are your future, and what you do is all of their future income and all of their future ability to make money is signed over to the government. Okay, where else do I want to go with this today? Let's see here. No. That was what I just did. There's this. Okay, let's go over a couple of things here. All right, so seeing it, I just put that there. It's like while we're all talking about Lahaina, upcountry was still burning, and I'm not sure if that fire is out completely yet today or not. And then you can go to my website. Like I said, this is all public, and go hit and make sure when you hit the comments that you get all the comments, not just the most notable or whatever it is, the most relevant. Oh, there's my boy in fighting fires up in Oregon. He's fighting the bedrock fire, and he's not hurt. He's learning how to put a splint on. And he's thinking about either becoming a med tech or an EMT in addition to his certifications. Check it out. That's how close he was to the fire. He could feel the heat. Anyway. And let's see here. Okay. Again, for those people here, respirators. Don't get a false sense of security because you got an N95 mask on. Masks won't cut it. It's the same thing as the concept with the Rona. You don't use chain link fence to keep mosquitoes out. You won't use chain link fence to keep some of the toxins and poisons that you'll be inhaling out either. So you want a respirator for the fumes because there's all kinds of batteries and paint and horrific building materials that we use that once they once they get burned, they become very, very toxic. And we got to do something about the ocean because and see, here's the Rhodes fires, right? Oh, gee, just so happens. And if you do a little numerology, Rhodes fires in Greece, 718. That adds up to 7, right? 7 plus 1 plus 8, 16. 1 and 6 is 7. 8, 8 is 16. Plus 1 is 7. There are no coincidences, my friends. Let's see here. Oh, and the fact that the first seal is broken, this is what I was talking about with Jason. I'll put some stuff down here, but yeah, we're We're in the end times. And those of you Christians will think that it's ridiculous, but it's not. And then here's all of our okay. Let's take a second here. I'm not going to play it, but oh, look at that. And that's Bison. Notice how he's wearing red and black. Might mean nothing. American flag with a gold fringe around it. Hawaiian flag with a gold fringe around it. That's the seal for the county of Maui, not Maui County, which has been incorporated. The guy that's all the way, the police officer on the right of your picture, all the way at the end there, that's the guy that was the point man for the Las Vegas shooting. How interesting. Oh, and notice how the seal is also on the podium. Let's see here. But yeah, this place, captured. You're captured. Maritime law. Or some lovely music. Oh, here's how insurance works. And that's how insurance works. Anyway, and then that was the scene. I haven't been by recently, and right now it's closed because it's Saturday, and it's already 4 o'clock in the afternoon. But that was like for days. That was what the line was because people trying to pick up their mail, and it hadn't gotten any better. I think I already went over that. And then just more. We've already done this, so I'm not going to redo it. But the idea being is that I do not have any hard evidence other than some of the pictures that I spent many hours going over, looking at some of those pictures. And now they don't even want you taking pictures. Now you got to have a permit to fly a drone over things. So get your 4K drones, go get your permit, and go take a look at, especially looking for, and if you look at the cover photo for my last video, that's what it should look like. There you see the washer and dryer, you see the water heater, you see the stove in there. Most of the places, none of that stuff exists. It's all ash. It's gone. So the water, again, and if you look at, there's a friend of mine that put a comment underneath that video where the water has to boil off, and then after it boils off, the metal has to, okay, how long does it take for the water to boil off and the metal to melt and turn into a pool of nothing? Same thing with the industrial stoves. Okay, a lot of the propane tanks. Oh, and there were some pictures. Let me show you. I can believe I can find those quickly and easily. Just go over a couple of these again. Bam. And we'll have to let them load. And again, I have some questions like how these people losing their businesses. Like how? How did this happen? How did that happen? One of the businesses in there is was a dive shop. And a friend of mine used to work for those people that had that dive shop. Let's see here. There was one around here, I believe, where you could see it was burnt, but the fuel tank didn't blow up. And I don't see it quickly, and I'm not going to go through all of these. Because even the propane tanks, you know, they don't just go kaboom. They're designed to resist some fire. But overall, once they're surrounded by fire and, you know, they're going to go kaboom, which is why it looks like bombs have gone off. But when you see stuff like this, where this thing is so far away from anything, right? I mean, yeah, there was supposed to be, that's great, but I mean, look how far away it was, and still we've got melted stuff there. Okay, was that enhanced by microwave or some other energy? I don't know. I don't have proof, but I sure have questions. And again, we do have some proof. Oh, we do have some proof when it comes to eyewitness accounts of people that I know firsthand. These are not people that I just know on the internet. This is a woman that I've known since she was a teenager, living on Maui, lives 2 houses down from here, And there are apparently multiple people that say that, yeah, we had bright flash. And I know from her testimony that that place right there, there aren't any power lines to go down and make a bright flash. And further, when the power lines go down, they don't make bright flashes like that. I mean, if that was a transformer or something blowing up, but there is no transformer there. Okay, and then there's the fire. And then this happened in multiple places around Olinda and Kula and so forth. And again, I should go look and put some pictures up for people in Kula, because the most expensive real estate on the island, coincidentally, goes up in flames. And the fact that, that makes it so that they had to juggle their resources, because you got upcountry wildfires, you got Lahaina wildfires, you got, the firemen are, and this is the other thing, firemen's, if you've got friends or relatives or family that's firemen's, respirators. If you're dicking around in the rubble of even just a house fire, you should be using a respirator, not just an N95 mask, because there's so much toxin in our building materials, and in Lahaina especially, so much toxin in the stuff that went up, especially like car batteries, the lead in the car batteries, the parts in the engine. There's just all kinds of bad stuff that you'll be fine. And then the other thing is detoxing. And I should put some stuff about detox remedies, or make a whole video about, getting the heavy metals and the other things that you're breathing in out of you as soon as possible. Or at least, drinking teas and so forth that will detox your body, because you're going to be exposed to it. Okay, you're going to be exposed to it. Nothing to be afraid of. Your body is the ultimate healer. You want to be able to detox, though, because if those toxins stay in you, you won't notice the cancer until years later, and then it's too late. And then with all the nastiness coming from here, it'll look the same forward or backward. Coming from those things, you don't want that in you, because they make for, it is fucking ridiculous that in the United States of America we have to do this, but we're not in the United States of America. We're considered under United States control. So your free speech is a privilege, basically, that they can give or take, and they're proving it to you. Because the corporations do their own damn thing. And like I said, you're considered to be in that place called Washington, D.C. But this has become a thing. So don't expose yourself, especially if you're a first responder, because all the first responders were required to do this if they wanted to keep their job. And then we had that happen where there's a story about one of the chiefs having a heart attack in the middle of a fire. He probably wouldn't have had the heart attack if he wouldn't have had that. Anyway, it's a full force assault, and you can't get these people to understand that we're not struggling against flesh and blood. We're struggling against the principalities of darkness, who sometimes are able to take over flesh and blood. Let's see. Let's go over here for a second onto BitChute. The Rah Report, 22. This guy over here, SGT, often has good stuff, and we know often has good stuff. Natural News, as much doom and gloom as you can handle. Amazing Polly used to do incredible research, and she's changed her format, and she doesn't do the deep dives that she used to, but some of her old stuff is great, because she connects dots and does all manner of research, proving that some of these conspiracy theories are actual fact. Sarah Westall, another excellent journalist. My buddy over there at Rice TV that we're supposed to get together one day. We'll see what happens. Let's see here. Eyes is watching. Good stuff. The Truth Republic. Excellent stuff. In fact, let's go over there for just a second and take a look. All of these you should watch. This is Jordan Maxwell stuff. Every bit of this you should watch. Every bit of this. all of these videos I highly recommend. Well, from here forward. And then if you've got time for some of these, but watch them on 2x speed. And see, this is national status, Roger Sales. A lot of good information from him. You know, interviews with him talking about how you're the beneficiary, not the trustee. Let's see here. Resources to do your own damn research. Let's see here. And then, like I said, I'm going to put all kind of links down below for you to dig through and share with your friends. Oh, now here's the last one. Well, not the last one, but the one I wanted to talk about, which is, bonds for the win. I'm going to put that link down there. And they have tutorials to obtain the bond and so forth. But learning about bonds and learning the fact that all public servants have bonds. And the other one is Weiss and Associates. The Resource Center page is what I have here. And I mean, they got great stuff. Defeating the IRS Notice of Deficiency, jurisdiction in the federal income tax, video after video after video. There's tons of them. Some of them are half an hour. Some of them are only 13 minutes. Some of them are 5 minutes. But, you know, state versus state and the idea of capital S versus small s. All manner of stuff because knowledge is power. Documents. A lot of these documents are excellent. They're PDFs. Go get them while they're still there before somehow they manage to take the thing down. The government printing office version of the 16th Amendment, that's kind of important for some of you that might want to realize that they did not, and Larry Breecraft proved that that thing was not ratified because they changed the wording. And you're not allowed. U.S. tax laws, jurisdiction, property, and domicile, part 1, 2, and 3. Download. Maps of the states and territories of the United States. Download. Let's see here. IRS cannot cross-reference statutes to other title regulations because 26 U.S.C. isn't positive law. Let's see here. And there are no implementing regulations, by the way. Burden of proof lies with the national government. Great PDF, because that's the thing. They always try to flip it on you, where you have the burden of proof. I don't have to prove a damn thing. I'm the defendant here. You have to prove I'm guilty beyond a shadow of a doubt. You have to prove your claims. You have to prove that that you're the beneficiary. I can't prove that you're not, but you can certainly prove that you are. Show me how you became the beneficiary. Prove that I'm the trustee. I say that I'm not the trustee. Well, then if you're claiming that I am the trustee, then you can certainly prove that I'm the trustee, can't you? Prove your claim. You claim that I'm a U.S. citizen. Well, prove I'm a U.S. citizen. I have all kinds of documents to say I'm not. Not to mention my own declarations. And not to mention the... am I going to draw a blank on it? The International Covenant, just getting all the words together in the right order. International Covenant on Civil and Political Rights says that I have a right to self-determination. Your own law says that I can confer state nationality by any means whatsoever. Naturalization means. That's your own law. Okay, so I confer that nationality upon myself. If you say that I'm a U.S. citizen, prove it. If you say I'm a resident alien, prove it. If you say I'm a resident alien of, and see, if you're a resident of state of Hawaii, state means resident, means District of Columbia. So District of Columbia of Hawaii is over there in Washington, D.C. I'm on Maui. So prove that I'm a resident of state of Hawaii. I am not a resident of state of Hawaii. The thing, the dead thing that's identified in and being an alien that's allowed, a resident alien of Washington, D.C. Prove that I am. Right? If you can't prove these things, all right, again, prove that I'm not the living man. Prove that the state has any form of jurisdiction over the living man. You have all jurisdiction over the juristic entities that they created. But you see how this works? Am I making sense? And there was a way to see, because I know this thing has live chat, and I don't know how to look at the live chat. I can do that. Can I go up here and do something? No. Anyway, I'll see the live chat like tomorrow or something like that. Oh, I know how to do it. You know how I'm going to do it? This is how I'm going to do it. I'm going to go over here to this computer and then make sure that the sound is all the way off. And then go over and see my own damn stream. And then I'll spend a second or two looking over the live chat if anybody put anything intelligent. Do me a favor and hit like, and also do, what do you call it? Put some comments underneath. Good, bad, or indifferent. Let's see here. There's my channel. There's the live. There's the live. Oh, yeah. There's a few comments here that I can't see. Are you going to let me? There you go. All right. Robert L. Perkins. Let's go, Brandon. 10% for that big guy. Anyway. Yeah, Robert L. Perkins. That's freaking awesome. Let's see. Yep, I will put them after this. I'll put them down there for sure. You'll have the links. Yes, they do. They do. They definitely more than one oath. Definitely more than one oath. Okay, I think that's it. Oh, wait, top chat. I don't want top chat. I want all chat. See how they do that? I want live chat. Is it different? No. Oh, yes, it is. I can see more stuff. Yeah, thanks for the prayers. And see, that's the other thing. I'm going to put wait because there is so much fraud going on right now. I cannot get over how fucked up humans are when it comes to using the names of like Jason Momoa and other stuff to set up GoFundMe's and this and that for the Lahaina people. And you know they're just going to pocket the money and setting up fake GoFundMe's and so forth. Okay, I got GoFundMe's for families that I know. I mean, I know these people and I know that's their GoFundMe. And I'll put them there. Give direct donations. Skip the IRS. Skip FEMA. Skip. Although I have to say, on Maui, it's a slightly different thing. Our Salvation Army, those guys really do like stuff. They try to help. But anyway, you can go around all those guys and donate directly. So I will put some links. And then understand, this doesn't go away in 2 weeks. Right now, they kind of like the first push is overwhelming. Like they got a tidal wave of resources that they had a hard time distributing. But you know what? A week from now, they're still going to need resources. 2 weeks from now, a month from now, 3 months from now. So, you know, you can wait. And I will make sure and verify that these various, and see, this is the thing. Don't shoot your wad. Don't give $1,000. Give, if everybody would give, like millions of people come to Lahaina, if everybody would give $20, $20, $20, $20, $20, $20, $20, right? So let's say you only have $100 to give. So you only give, you spread it out between 5 different people. And then everybody else does that. And they hit their funding goals. And then you move on, right? And we do it privately, not them becoming dependents of United States and taking benefits from FEMA and Red Cross, right? So they set up GoFundMe's and get private so that they can rebuild their house, so they can replace their car, so they can afford to bury their children. Oh, and I should do a video about, or at least post a video about the fact that, and see, we got to go there. You want to bury the remains of your loved ones on your property. There's a reason for that. There's a reason why they put you in cemeteries and made you pay for funerals and all that kind of stuff. Take the remains and bury them on the property. And put a stone there or put a plaque there and so forth. Then you'll really have an easier time getting a allodial title to your property. So again, share that little tidbit with the Hawaiians, especially the people that lost family. And not just Hawaiians. When I say Hawaiians, I'm talking about people that live in Hawaii. Kanaka Maoli, that's the native. That's the ones who, see, you can't say Native Hawaiian because if you look at their definition of Native Hawaiian, it's a U.S. citizen. I'm talking about the people that lived here, their ancestors lived here, they came over here in canoes. I'm talking about those people. But there are other people that are, you know, been here 3, 4, 5, 6 generations, born and raised in Hawaii, but they're not Hawaiian. They don't have Hawaiian blood. But those count as Hawaiians. Like the guys over at Nagasaki, Japanese. 120 years they had the variety market open, burned to the ground, and they're saying they're not going to rebuild. But for 120 years, they were providing groceries to Lahaina, right? Since 1900. Anyway, you know, like I said, you can't understand the feeling in your gut and your heart when you think about, like, did I know that family personally? No, but I shopped in their store, and I know I've seen the old man when he used to stock the store, and I know the children and so forth when they're in there because they ran their own damn supermarket. How about the ladies of the bank in Lahaina? I knew them. They lived out Lahaina side. Did I know them personally? No, but I know who they are. And guarantee, positively, I don't know anybody that died, but I guarantee you those people know people that died. They're customers, people that worked in bars, people that, I mean, hard. It's a hard thing. Anyway, yes, I will definitely put links. I will put links. I will put links. I will put links. I always put links. If anything, I put too many links. You guys don't get them. Okay, so I think that's enough for today. How long have I gone? Wow, not even 3 hours yet. I should go do more. Do I want to read more? I've had enough. Maybe I'll make another video. But because I have some friends that want to make a video. So here, we'll cut and then cue to... Of course. We'll say cue to 222, right? 2 hours and 22. And I'll do a quick... try to make this thing brief and understood, because for a lot of people it's blow their mind. Like, what do you mean there's more than one United States? No, there's not more than one United States. United States is a service corporation. Anyway, wait, we'll start in a second here. Let me, so we can cue it in 20 seconds. I should go get a drink of water and come back. Anyway, thanks for the likes. Got 7 people watching. Holy cow. What are you guys doing on Saturday? This is what I'm doing on Saturday. I'm going over my paperwork and getting ready to send it, and finding my documents in case certain people want to show up and try to say that they have the authority to arrest the living man. It's not me, right? The name that's going to be on the Caprius, and they won't have a warrant because the 11th Amendment says they can't have a warrant. But anyway, all right. 222. There you go. Well, it's 222. Take. All right. So, 1871. There's a corporation that's set up called United States. United States is a corporation. Let's do it right. And understand that the word United States is not short for United States of America. United States of America is the de jure republic that we all thought we were citizens of from the several states. But turns out, no, what they're trying to make you into is a United States citizen with voting rights, who is in a state of voluntary servitude according to the 14th Amendment to the United States Constitution, not the Constitution for the United States of America. Two different things. United States is a subsidiary of the District of Columbia. District Columbia is a subsidiary of the Crown Inc. Set up by the Pope. What is he doing? Because they claim all the souls. City of London claims all the money. Hey, you guys owe us money. You're founding fathers. You guys set up this debt, so we want payment on this. So they sent the bar attorneys over here to collect the debt, to extract wealth, to attorn you. Look the words up. Look up etymology.com. Or maybe it's etymology.org. Anyway, I'll put a link below. But you got to get into etymology. The idea is that this corporation has been standing but bankrupt since 1871. It's domiciled in the 10 square miles, according to the Constitution, and according to this notice right here, where I'm putting it out, where it tells you that it's Article 1, Section 8, Clause 17. It's the 10 square miles of Washington, D.C. that this thing operates in. Okay, so in order to trick you into a state of voluntary servitude, because there can be no voluntary servitude, You either have to commit a crime, because that allows for voluntary servitude, or involuntary servitude, pardon me. But what you're considered is a employee who doesn't get paid. You're considered a citizen, an employee, a dependent, an officer. Well, we're not officers, although the office that we hold is voter. And when you sign up for your voter registration, boom, are you a United States citizen? When you sign up for a driver's license, giving up your God-given right to travel, boom, are you a U.S. citizen? When you give a document called the birth certificate, boom, right on there, U.S. citizen. When you sign for a passport, you'll often say, yes, I'm a U.S. citizen. Okay. When you sign up for your bank account and your joint tenants with rights of survivorship, are you a U.S. citizen? Boom, right? Know your client or whatever is it, right? So the idea being is that you have told them at least 5, 10 more times that you are a U.S. citizen. How would they know that you're not? Hawaiians have told them that they're native Hawaiians on all kinds of OHA registration and all kinds of other documents. But if you look up the definition of native Hawaiian, it says a U.S. citizen. You are not U.S. citizens. The corporation, the United States Corporation, has a franchise called State of Hawaii, which is different than Hawaii State. County of Maui is different than Maui County. These things are juristic entities that exist in the District of Columbia. Okay, so you want to make it clear that just because you have mail at, and quit using the zip code, or put near, and then use the 4 corners rule whenever you use a zip code. So you do this on your documents. In my case. Oh, shoot, I didn't write it backwards. I should write all that backwards just to impress you. But anyway, near. Right? I don't know if I can do it, though. Bruh, it's hard. Did I get it? Oh, bruh, look, backwards. And then I gotta do, oh, the A will still be A. But the N, I can't do it. Did I do it? Oh, there you go. Anyway, just to, again, impress my enemies and intimidate my friends, I can write backwards. Anyhow, the idea being is that you're near that zip code. You're not in that zip code. That zip code is a zone. And if you look at the postal zones, those zones, there's 100 districts. We're in the Roman system, people. Those 100 districts are divided into zip codes, into zones. And all of those are fictions that exist in this place called the District of Columbia, which is the 10 square miles of those, well, Richmond, north of Richmond. All right. So, see, and this is the thing, the angst. People, the reason why that guy's an overnight success is just people are starting to get pissed off. And if you want to know about pissed off people, how pissed off would you be if you figured out that maybe, just maybe, it wasn't an accident that your loved ones died? They don't even want to think about it at this point. Okay, so this District of Columbia set up as the service corporation to do the business of the United States. It is not under the judiciary. It is not under it's under the administrative branch because it came under those are Article 1 courts, not Article 2 or 3 courts. Just like the IRS calls tax court a court. It's not a court. I mean, it is, but it isn't. They can name it whatever they want, right? I think I'll call this place Golgotha. We name everything. But just because this is the thing, this is where that joke comes to pass. And I asked some lawyers that came to visit me in jail, and they failed it. Or this woman failed it. She was wearing the green jacket, though. I asked her, how many legs does a dog have if you call a dog's tail a leg? And she goes, I don't know, 5, or I don't know, none. I don't. And anyway, I don't remember what she says. I don't know, 5. I was like, no. How many legs does a dog have if you call a dog's tail a leg? And she's like, I don't know. Okay, you should be able to answer that question. Think about it for a second. The answer is 4, because calling a dog's tail a leg does not make a dog's tail a leg. Calling you a native Hawaiian and then changing the definition to citizen of the United States or United States citizen does not make you a United States citizen. Calling me Ben H. Rogers in all caps or Ben Hosea Rogers in all caps, a decedent estate, does not make me that decedent estate. Calling me a U.S. citizen doesn't make me a U.S. citizen. Calling me a resident alien calling me a resident or a resident of Hawaii does not make me a resident. Who determines these things? We do. Right? I determine my city, right? I am a Christian Moor. I am descended from Moors. My father was all under the Islam. I am a Christian. All right. The Moors were here before, and we're not going to go down that road. But we have a common enemy, and the common enemy is United States Corporation. Those are not United States of America Marines. Those are U.S. Marines. It's not the United States of America Army. It's the United States Army. It's a corporate army. It's not the United States of America Air Force. It's the U.S. Air Force. Go look at the fucking logos. It's not the United States of, right? It's United States Space Force. It's not United States of America Space Force. Go look at the logos. When it comes to the Department of the Treasury, it's not even the United States Department of the Treasury. It's just the Department of the Treasury, IRS. Okay, there's this corporation. It took over here in 1959. We just had Statehood Day yesterday, where we are supposed to celebrate statehood. I can guarantee you, not a firework went off. Hawaiians did not sign the Treaty of Annexation. Okay, they took over all 50 states using the bar. Almost everybody from president on down is an attorney who swears an oath to the bar. That oath to the bar supersedes their oath to the Constitution. The bar has an oath to the Constitution because the corporation has been entrusted to do the business. It's just business. It's just commerce. It's just business, nothing personal. Of the United States of America. They figured out that they can attorn you. They figured out that they can keep you ignorant and you have no idea about your exemption and how to use your accounts and how the Social Security number and those exemptions work. And they'll lie to your face. People that I've known since 6th fucking grade lie to your face about CUSIP numbers and about bonds and about the fact that you have a public and a private side. I've made videos that have been removed. My channel has been decimated. They have taken, well, not decimated, but they've taken, oh, let's do that so I can show you. This is just the last couple that I've done. Here we are on BitChute. Can I come over here to, oh wait, I have to go to a whole nother app because this is a tablet. Let's see here. See, all right. Keep getting distracted. Oh, look, a squirrel. But see, in this picture over here, all the way on the end there, you see the water tank. You see the washer and dryer. You see the stove. Many places, none of that exists. And don't tell me that the water boils off in 2 seconds, or that, you know, in hot water. No, there's a pressure valve, and even though they turned off the water, when the pressure valve released, it would refill with water. So how did so many of those water heaters become reduced to, right? I mean, that has to be high temperature fire for a long time to boil all that water off and then turn it into molten metal. That's what I'm talking about. So some of it was been talking for too long, natural fire, and some of it may have been enhanced. But I have no hard evidence in Lahaina. The only hard evidence I have is eyewitnesses who took pictures up in Olinda. Don't have hard evidence in Kula. But it's pretty freaking strange that we had fires in a straight line from Oahu to Maui to Kamwela on the Big Island. See, in Kamwela not getting any attention either because all the attention's on Lahaina. but there were some strange fires on the Big Island. There were multiple fires, Kihei, Upcountry, Kula, and the Kihei, Upcountry, Kula, and Olinda, and Lahaina. Okay, I just wanted to show you this one, fast one. Let's go over here, and then let's go to my own decline. Will it take me there? Yes. And then I go here, and then let's see here. That's me being live. Go to videos. Oh, go here. Oh, I want to go to the Creator Studio. I don't have any idea how to get there. Oh, and this is the other thing. Go take a look at some of my playlists. I got tons of playlists. There's good stuff in these playlists. So go to my channel, all manner of videos that I've saved, and you'll see some of them have disappeared. Nothing in there. Channels, some of the oh shoot. Anyway, there's somewhere in here where it shows you all the stuff that I have had taken off. And I can't find it. But anyway, they've taken all this stuff down from my website. All right, so getting back to it very simply. We've got this service corporation. They assume and make presumptions. They make 12 presumptions. I've gone over the 12 presumptions before. But they make 12 presumptions about you. And one, that you're the trustee. That's one of the most important ones to rebut. And 2, that they have authority. 3, that your performance is showing that you're consenting. You have to separate yourself. Now, the easiest way to separate yourself, one, is with a FOIA request, where you ask the government itself, hey, you got any evidence that I'm a citizen, dependent, or employee? That's this right here. And then you got to notice people. Where is this going? This is going to our chief of police. Right? Got to also send it to risk management. Oh, look. I've got copyrights on these names. Oh, look. I have no contract with the United States, State of Hawaii, County of Maui, or any of their subsidiaries. Signed. That's a holograph on the back with my thumbprint and a seal and a stamp. You got to notice. Gentlemen, give notice. You got to let them know. Otherwise, they assume and presume, because you have all these other documents where you've signed that you're a U.S. citizen, which gives them jurisdiction. So what do you got to do? You got to separate yourself using this is one important way to do it. In Minnesota, they gave you one door out. Oops, you can't see it. Where you can be the name holder, where it tells you to be the name holder for that all caps name. And I'm not just a name holder for the all caps name. I'm also copyright holder, name holder and copyright holder. You got to give them notice, right? And what's that one that I have highlighted there? You can't see it because it's backwards. But the highlighted one is, hey, you guys get jurisdiction in the 10 square miles. Prove that we're in the District of Columbia. You can't. Oh, look, there's my certificate of existence. Hi, I exist. Oh, look. Here's a fuck ton of Supreme Court cases talking about the right to travel. Because I was in court one time in Arizona and I said I have the right to travel. And the judge was like, you do not. Like, really? She goes, like, where'd you get that? I'm like, I don't know. Lots of places. Right? Here's the lots of places. Barbara, I'm going to come see you. I know you motherfuckers watch this. Right? You are fraudulent, fraudulent, fraudulent. When I'm in court, I will be polite. But when I'm making free speech videos here on YouTube, it's fraud. You guys know you're fraudulent. You wouldn't try to confuse me by making the all caps name and my name sound the same, Indin Sonaz, if you weren't fraudulent. You'd put estate or trust or something else in there. Nope. If you weren't fraudulent, you'd tell us about our exemptions. If you weren't fraudulent, you'd tell us about the public and the private. If you weren't fraudulent, you'd tell us about your oaths. If you weren't fraudulent, if you weren't fraudulent, if you weren't fraudulent, you're fucking fraudulent. You got to claim your rights. Those who slumber on the rights have none. So learn some maxims of equity. Right, so right here on the bottom of all of those, I just put very simply, right, this, not a 30-page document, just a one short statement. I, Ben Hosea, claim my God-given right to travel by any conveyance, in any conveyance, by any conveyance, or means whatsoever upon the land, air, or sea. Oh, brah. Good thing I see. So who signed it? By me. Beneficiary, doing business as the all caps names. Now what? What's missing? Can you tell me what's missing? I can tell you what's missing. This is missing. This is this right here. So you just put your thumb on it, put your thumb, and get it on your name. Oh, look. Who else can make that mark other than me? That is unique. Tells me what experiment I'm a part of. All right, and then one last thing. Get you one of these. They don't cost much. Signed, sealed, delivered. And now it's a living document. So you can't see it, but you can feel that there's a raised seal there. Okay. Claim your rights. And then you can't just claim your rights and tell your friends that you claimed your rights and your children and sit at home, watching TV, talking about how you claimed your rights. You gotta freaking notice them. And the way you notice them, it's gonna cost you some money. You gotta use registered mail. Registered mail, right? And then on the back of your documents, you're your own private, non-resident alien postmaster, right? Put a stamp on each document. Sign through the document. You sign up and to the left. Those liars that told you to sign the other way or sign from this corner down, liars. It's up to the left. And then I just, for the giggles of it, put the registered mail number on every document. All right. Why? And then in this document, I got to put a cover letter on this, which I haven't written yet, but which will be written shortly. And it's going to be a short one-page cover letter. That basically just notice them. Hey, you're stopped from violating my rights, right? An estoppel. Look, I'm a living man. Oh, look, here's all the documents that right? Here's my fee schedule if you do violate my rights. Here's my, here's a notice telling you that you guys have certain, pointing out Constitution, right? What's in there. The 10 square miles. The fact that you guys can get in trouble if you don't honor your oaths. Anyway, look all of those up, and you should be able to talk about your documents, not just put them in there. There's my copyright. Here's a note from Wayne Strump. Here's a note from Wayne Strump talking about they know about the fact that you have no contract and that you have the ability to get rid of your contracts, and that one stupid fuck talks about getting rid of your contracts. And then here's just proof. Hey, last orders I had weren't even signed or dated. So my performance was considered to be proof that I was consenting because I didn't even have a signed court order to come to court. Fool. Anyhow, so again, what do? You notice these people that you are pulling yourself apart from the fiction, from the juristic entity. The same way they cut you away in the delivery room or at birth from that placenta is the same way you're going to cut the chains to the sky, or those invisible contracts. You're going to cut them and let them know you can't be the same person because you're the source, you're the principal, you came first in time is first in right, and that there wouldn't be any of these other documents from these guys, which is all backwards, but that's the Illinois Department of Health. But the idea being is that there would be no birth certificates and there would be no registrations or any of that if I hadn't have been born. I was born first, and 5 days later, they did the registrations. and I have the original document of registration. Here, I'll show you this just for fun, because it's amusing. That, and look, an ancient Social Security card. There. This is the original document that we got back from way back in the day. Notice of birth registration. Whose, right? Name of child. That's a legal term, by the way. Doesn't say name of son or daughter. It says name of child. And you can see it's Rogers Ben H. Oh, wait a minute. I'm registered as Rogers Ben H. I'm not registered as Ben H. Rogers. The name of child is Rogers Ben H. What do it mean? It means that that's not the same as Ben H. Rogers. Does it? Is it? Bro, you can't see with your own eyes. Okay, so when they say, state your name, or, are you Ben H. Rogers? No, I'm Rogers Ben H. That's what's registered there. State your name. Are you Ben Hosea Rogers? No, I'm Rogers Ben Hosea. And you can just call me Ben Hosea, thank you very much. But it's not the same. How is it registered? This is the creditor. And this, like I said, is the original document. And then the mother's name, it just says Joyce. It doesn't have her whole name there. It just says her first name, because that's her name. My name is Ben Hosea. Until I got to kindergarten over here, I'd never heard anything from my family but Ben Hosea. I was never called Ben Rogers. But see, they train your mind to be the same thing as their paperwork. Slave. Let's see, is it a son or? Nope, I'm a male. And my patent number is on here. So I should be careful flattering this thing around. Your patent number is 3 digits, 2 digits, and then 6 digits. You should know your patent number the same way you know your Social Security number. Your patent number, we'll talk about that another time. And what's his name? B.J. Williams is talking about infinite money. A ticket to that infinite money is through that patent number. But there's many different ways. And then who signed on this thing? Samuel L. Andaman, a medical doctor. Oh, that was a trick. Shoot, that I should have put earlier on in this. For people that are, you need a doctor's signature. And get a doctor's signature that says you are who you are. Because believe it or not, MDs have a whole lot of power. So if you're missing original documents, get a document that from your doctor who says you are who you say you are with your birth date and so forth. Have the doctor sign that. Take that to the post office, and that will help you to get your, because I've seen so many people crying over the fact that they can't get their documents and paperwork in for their passports and so forth. I would go to Copper Moon Sign Stills and take a look at that. And when you do go get your passport, go back there and tell them, see, since it's been burned up, go back there and tell them you're not a U.S. citizen. Not a U.S. citizen, not a U.S. citizen. My mom was a U.S. citizen. My dad wasn't a U.S. citizen. I'm not a U.S. citizen. And this isn't my Social Security number. It's a Social Security number that was applied for me. Like for me, I've never applied for a Social Security number for anybody. For not myself, for not my sons, for not anybody. So when you go get the documents for the, you're trying to get your 5-star passport, and this is the thing, when you want a 5-star passport, I have now documentation that shows them not a resident, not a U.S. citizen, right? Not just mine, not just me saying that. I've got Freedom of Information Act requests. I've filed paperwork with Secretary of State and with 2 Secretaries of State and the Federal Secretary of State and the courts, and I've got stamps on my documents. Oh, look. It has been filed in the court. There's a stamp there. So And then I'm going to give them my long form birth certificate, which they give you back, and say, hey, I don't want, I want to be an ambassador. But anyway, that is the original. And then here is a copy, which is as good as the original. And I used to carry this around. My mom gave it to me back in the old days when it was mimeograph paper. You can even feel this paper. It doesn't feel like our paper now because one side's shiny and one side's not. And they're like, wow, this is the original document. So anyway, again, Rogers Ben H on the notification of registration. This is, I used to take this around and use it for all kind of stuff in school and so on and so forth, rather than my birth certificate. But it does have the patent number on there, and that patent number is worth a dime or two. And then let's just look at this for fun. This is a really old Social Security number, or Social Security card. Notice it's got that, and on the back, there's no little, on all your new ones, there's the red number, there's the red number with the routing number for the bank that you've been pledged to on it. Let's see if I can find one of those. Boot. Yes, except for the fact that you'll notice that this is an old one. It's still not in red. It's in black. And do I have one that is in red? Yes, there is one. Here, I'll cover it. See, the new ones have this little thing for computer ID, and it's in red. That's a new card. Okay, that number is important, or those numbers are important. But your exemption is just your Social Security number with no dashes. Your routing number is the number with the dashes. And understand, oh, this is the other thing I was going to tell you. Your patent number is going to be 3, 5, 11 digits long. I can prove that with this document that I just held in my hand. Now, I pull this document out because they're lying liars who are fraudulent. And this is a certification of birth record, which is not the same as a certificate of live birth. And if you look at the state file number, it has 3 and then 4 and then 7. What's 3, 4, and 7? That's 14, you 14er. They used to call us 14ers. 11 is an important number to them. 9, 7, 9, 11, 14, 13. They're crazy, wacky Masons. Numbers and the digits all have meaning to them. They do numerology and all kind of crazy stuff. All right, so your patent number is 11 digits long. And you should be able to use that letter of patent as a letter of credit. Okay, I got sidetracked again, so the 222 wasn't good. But anyway, the idea being that we've got this private corporation who, not your friend. They want to give you benefits, and in return for your benefits, they basically want your soul. They basically want you, I mean, literally, the Pope claims your soul. And you've got the 3, right, the Triple Crown. City of London, Vatican in Rome, and Washington, D.C., District of Columbia. And by the way, Washington, D.C., I think they're just calling it District of Columbia. I think the Washington has disappeared. But that's where the Richmond, north of Richmond, reside. And fuck you. Anyway, what else? How long have I been going? Close enough. I think we'll quit at 3 here. Oh, here's one last thing. All your documents should have one of these. And it should be signed by a third, or at least witnessed by 2 or 3 others. And that is just a proof of service, which is backwards, but that's what that says, proof of service. And the following documents, live claim and other things, was served by, and it'll be me or the person that's mailing it, but in most cases it can just be you. Sometimes you want it to be a third party. Descriptions of the items served. Well, it says XYZ, how many page document? I don't know, I haven't counted them yet, but not that many. The other one was 59, which is way too many. This one right here is a 59-page document. But the only reason why it's a 59-page document is because I put all the bonds in there, and I put the copies of the oaths, and I put copies of all kinds of other documents. The actual notices and so forth, and like the rogatory was only 3 pages. Anyhow, so then you put the description of the documents via mail. This would be where you put the registered number, right? That number right here, and that's on all the stamp things, is going to go here. And then via mail, right? Or see, if you did it in person, again, take 2 or 3 friends with you. And if you're serving, like going down to the sheriff's office, or you're going down to the, I don't know, police front desk, or going to the prosecutor's office to give them, then make sure you have witnesses. And oftentimes you can ask the secretary or the person at the receiving desk if they'll sign it, but most times, because they're fraudulent, they won't sign it. But, you know, received by. Could you just initial this? But because nobody wants any liability for anything, they won't sign a fucking thing. So bring your own witnesses, is my point. Okay, and then date, time, and place of service. On most of mine, it says Kahului or Wailuku Post Office, and the date and time that you did it, right? And you have the receipts. Do I have one of those handy? Yes, I do, but I would have to dig for it. And then you have the green cards that you get back. So you make sure that you get a signature that way. Where's stay? I believe I have one right here. I got all my documents out, and I got more notebooks. It's here, no. It's here, no. But it's very important that you keep your receipts and keep your cards. Oh, I'm starting to make a mess. All right, there it is. So here is a proof of service. And see, on the proof of service, there's my receipts from the post office right there. There's my for registered mail, they make you fill this thing out, from to, who you sent it with, and the value of your documents. That's another reason why you put stamps on your document, so that when you have this form right here, you don't put 0, right? Because your documents have some value, even though they're priceless. If you put $1.03 on each page, do the math. Do the math. I just put $12, so they're not worth 0. Okay, so then you have that as proof. These will stand up in a court of law as proof of mailing. And then you have this, which is the proof of service. And see, it was signed by my friend Kaniloa as a witness. And see, by Rogers Ben Hosea. And where did it? 15 Aug 2023, Kahului Post Office is where this went. And where did I send it to? I sent it to Slavit, my attorney, and I sent it to clerk of the court. Right? And then the description was copy of letter rogatory RF 190-877-777 US, right? So that's just the registered mail number. 49 pages plus attachments, and 49 pages total, plus attachments and filings, bonds, oaths, FOIAs, letters to Secretary of State, etc. Right? 49 pages tells you. And then those documents, like you see on that other one, those documents can all be referenced with that registered mail number. Okay, you want to use registered mail because that's the de jure. You don't want to just use the United States Postal Service, or you want to use the post office. The post office is the de jure. It's the last thing standing from the Republic. And it costs a little more money because an actual postman carries it and knows where it is and takes your document from point A to point B. And see, they had one where they were trying to tell me, oh, we lost your document. Like, we don't know where it went, because I was doing some FYAs on, excuse me, I had like some bonds and some, what do you call, oaths of office for some of these people. And they never responded because those oaths are not genuine. They don't fit 5 USC 3331 through 3333. 3333, yeah. Okay. So the idea here is notice, and the idea is how to give notice. So I think in one of the very beginning videos that I made, I said there's paperwork to be done. So it's what to say, who to say it to, and how to get it there. So what to say, I'm not the same as the all caps name. You don't have to let them know all about the 1871, and you certainly don't want to put HJR 192 in there, but you do want to know that you understand that the nature of whatever it is commercial, and the cause is going to be statute or contract, right? So some of the cause of action could be breach of contract, depending on what you're doing. But the idea is if you're rescissioning contracts, you can rescission any signature. This is another thing with the Hawaiians in Lahaina. Anything that they make you sign, you can rescission the signature. And do I have anything that has I don't believe I have a rescission signature, but there's a way to do it. And the way, yes, I do, right here. What do you know? You write rescission, and again, it's from this way to that way. Don't write, put it there. There you go. Right? You don't go from this corner to that corner. You go from this corner to that corner. You put the date there, and then you put your name. Right? Then you put your signature. Rogers Ben Jose. And then on the back of this, it just said, please forgive me, I made a mistake. I hereby rescind my signature that I made. I hereby rescind my signature made in error, right? Not a 27-page document on all about how rescission laws and all the different things in the UCC talking about rescission and constitutional history about rescissions. One simple statement. Again, thumbprint, and you know what? No seal. Oh, you know why? Because this is a copy. Oh, no, it's not. It's got the original gold. Put the seal on it. All right, now it's got the raised seal. All right, signed, thumbprint, seal. This is a living document now. All right, and see, and then on the bottom corner, I don't have the stamp, but I do have a registered mail number for this rescission. All right, so that's what a rescission looks like. And you do it on all the documents you're rescissioning. So if you've got a contract that's 5 pages, every page has rescission on it, date and signature. Date down here. There's a way to do it. Don't put your date up here. Put your date down here and your signature there. And then the registered mail number should go somewhere on the document. And then you should put a holograph somewhere on the back of the documents, right? And then you'd have to do it 5 times if it's a 5-page contract. This is a 1-pager. This has just got one thing on it. So you can rescission any signature. I think I said that. I think that'll do it. Trying to give you guys some knowledge. And this is hard-won knowledge right here. Do your research on your own. I'm going to put links on the freaking wide underneath here, like I always do. Spend some time. You've already spent 3 hours of your time, and hopefully, like I said, do the 2 times speed wild thing, and then it's only an hour and a half. And then you're going to spend a lot of time reading. And then I'm going to take you to other sites or links down there that have links to more videos and more PDFs, and right. And then, like I said, that one thing, the history of money document, that's going to be another thing. And you might want to save all these links. A, if you know how to use the Wayback Machine, use the Wayback Machine. And 2, if you know how to make available offline, make them available offline and save the documents, because they're killing this information as fast as we can put it up. They don't, and again, fraud by omission, right? And then you'll see Google giving you just bullshit answers. Like, Google is such bullshit, I can't get over the bullshit that they're putting out there. Like, just bullshit. In fact, my girlfriend and I were saying, Costanza, just Costanza it. Whatever they tell you is the opposite, right? Remember, and those of you will know what I mean by Costanza, but just Costanza. If you see it on Google, and you see, and it, just because it's a government website doesn't mean they're not lying through their fucking teeth to you. Right? These are not men of honor. They want money from you, and the way they get money from you is you being ignorant. And I'm not lying. I'm telling you the truth, which is why this video may or may not make it. Many of my videos, they just take them down. They don't tell me why. They just take them down. And I wanted to show you that, but I can't figure out how to get there I'd have to go in. Anyway, it shows you, there's a page that shows you the videos that they've taken down. They've taken down several videos for me. Well, maybe I can find it going here. And I can give you at least the names of the videos that disappeared. No. Really? Okay. And then we'll quit. Or maybe I should take one more look just at the if there's any questions to answer. Man, it's a lot of clicks to get to where I want. Oh, look, somebody made another comment under my video. Oh, analytics. There you go. Let's see here. Nope, it's not there either. Reach, engagement, audience. I have no followers. I used to make videos, I'd get 60,000 hits. Now, nothing. Details. It's not there. I know I saw it. I saw a list of the videos that they took off. Anyhow, all about Saturn, all about Masons, all about all kinds of stuff there. All just disappeared. All right, fine. Be like that. I can't find it. But the idea too is you might you have permission to download this to your wherever and take it offline, and then maybe one day I'll need it and we can reload it up to Rumble or someplace like that. All right, let's see here if I have any comments that are needing some kind of response. And the answer is I don't think so. Oh, yes, I do. All right, let's see here. How do you find your patent number? Came up quite. Right? Okay. 14th Amendment citizenship should not be confusing whatsoever. Holy crap, there's all kind of things here. All right, hold on a second. Let's cover some of this stuff while I'm at it. And we can, okay, and this is top chat. I don't want top chat. I want live chat. I want all the chat. I want everything. Why would they keep me from seeing what you guys write? Okay, you find your patent number. On your birth certificate, you need the long form, because on the short form, on the certificate, certification of birth record that they sent me, this is just yeah, it has the seals and stuff on there, but this is not the thing. And again, this is how you get around it. Get a doctor that knows you, if you have a doctor, to sign that that's your name, birth date, former address, whatever, the address that they have for you on record, and get the doctor to sign it. Most of them will accept that. Where this thing went? Where's my long form? Here's my long form. Nope. Bruh, I know it's in here. One of these documents. Here's Crouton Ramon's patent. There it is. Oh. All right. On your long form, in the upper right corner, where it says, it even says right there, does it say, you can't read it, but it says original, because I'm the original. The original number, pardon me, is that number there. It's going to have the first three digits. 112 is Illinois, but those first three digits are going to be the district that you're in. The next two numbers are going to be your last two numbers of your birth date. So in my case, it's 64. And then there's going to be a 6-digit number after that. So it's, in my case, it's Illinois, so 112. My birth date is 64, so it's 112-64-, and then it'll have a 6-digit number. On these documents, they do 112, and then 4 digits, 1964, not just 64, and then they stuck an extra 0 in on my patent number. So it's a 7-digit number instead of a 6-digit number. So it should be 3, right, 2, and 6. And that's the number right here on the top corner up here on your birth certificate. On your, what do you call it? That's where you find the patent number. On the bottom over here, this is not your patent number. That's the bonding number, right? And you'll notice this is on bond paper, and it's got the seals, right? These are all bond paper. You can take the back of this and endorse it using the proper patent number, and there's a way to endorse it. And you got to know the difference between endorse with an I and endorse with an E. One is public, one is private. Let's see here. Yeah, I know. I can't go back to, I'll go back to where it's a thing, but I can't screencast this way. And wait, and this is the other thing, rather than have this here, let's go over here. You can see my, which is so cool, it's doing it at the same time on that, of course. And let's go over here. And let's go over here. And then let's go, there's our peace flag. See the peace flag? Not the war flag. Well, let's see here. We'll leave it there. How's that? Evidence that they say doesn't exist because it's just conspiracy theory. As soon as they start talking conspiracy theory, you know they have mind control because CIA is the one that gave them that mind control to say conspiracy theory. Okay, so there's how you find your patent number. 11 digits, not 14. Let's see here. You can't see anything we share? All right, fine. I can't take the share screen off, so too bad. I'll make another video where I just straight do it. No, you need your long form birth certificate to get your patent number. Okay, 14th Amendment citizenship, not confusing. Here's what it is. United States Corporation. When you signed up for voter registration, passports, driver's license, marriage certificate, benefits, bank accounts, and you signed that you are a United States citizen, you're signing United States citizen under the 14th Amendment of the Constitution of United States, all caps. That makes you a 14th Amendment citizen. You are considered to be in a state of voluntary servitude. You volunteer. You're not involuntary, you're consenting. How do they know you're consenting? Because you just signed all these fucking documents that told them that you were a United States citizen is why. Sorry, I'm not mad at you, but I'm just mad at me because I did it too. Okay, so nothing confusing about it. You're not in the de jure. This United States Corporation, created in 1871, is the corporation that is signed up to do the business for the country that no longer exists because the southern states walked out and said, no, we're not paying this debt that we don't owe. So our buddy Abe Lincoln, along with the Pope and a few other people, set up the corporation called United States, and they signed off on it. It may have been under duress or whatever, because then he tried to make currency that wasn't debt, and they shot him in the head. And then there was this other guy that tried to make currency that wasn't debt, and they shot him in the head. In the case of the Lincoln, they caught the guys that shot him in the head, and they hung him. In the case of Kennedy, they shot him in the head, and those guys are still, you're suffering under their tutelage as we speak, or their descendants. No joke. Because they never got hung. Because we've all kind of conspiracies about Cubans and the mafia, blah, blah, but the fact is that, no, the fucking banker shot him in the head because they didn't want you going back to this right here. So you're saying it's too small, you can't see anything. But anyway, those are silver coins, dollars. And then I showed you the 50-cent pieces that actually have Kennedy's bust on it because that's the bankers doing this to us. Okay. Go right and ask for it. Hi, I would like my long, go ask the place where you were born for your long form birth certificate. You're going to go to the Idaho Department, in my Idaho, In my case, it was the Illinois Department of Public Health. There are numerous places to go dig up your long form birth certificate, but you got to be sure that you specify that you want long form, because they won't give it to you. They'll try and give you the other one. They'll try and give you the one I showed you. They'll try to give you this instead. So what you want is the long form. All right. Good. See, we get questions. I have answers. Sometimes you have questions. I have no answers because I'm just as ignorant and I got to go do my research. Anyway, and I'll make another video, not today, perhaps tomorrow, which is Sunday, where I take the screen off and it'll be full screen and I can show you, hold up my documents and so forth, and you can look at them. But I'm not really keen on you being able to look at well, you guys I'm not worried about, but there are scammers who will take my patent number and they know how to use it. And that thing's worth, in my case, billions with a B. No joking. Let's see here. Oi, this computer is about to die because that thing came off. Okay. He's charging now. All right. I think that'll do it. That's, I think, enough time. There are other documents to go over. Oh, shall I? Since we're here, I'll just read you what I wrote. Again, notice, and notice how they're short. They're 2 pages. It's 2 pages, and most of that is, well, since you can't see it, you know, about this much of it is just the address and the little logo thing, and then what are you guys on your phones or something? If you're on your computer, you should be able to see it. But anyway, let me go put my glasses on so I can look all intellect. Like I said, the guy who gave me these glasses was an interesting cat, and he wound up getting in a knife fight. Took the knife away from the guy that was trying to stab him, stabbed the guy, and they arrested him instead of the guy that attacked him with the knife, because he was homeless and they weren't. And then he was stuck in jail because he couldn't remember anybody's phone numbers because he was a fucking drug addict. Anyway, and they were giving him all kinds of crazy. Anyway, he gave me these. Just gave them to me because he didn't like them. And because they do, they make you look silly because they're right, because they're free in jail, right? Well, they're not free. Anyway, but I think they're just quirky enough that I like them, and I can only use them for certain things because it's like 2 times magnification. So I can't, like, you know, reading them like this. I got to take them off because anyway. But these are special to me. They have it's like a souvenir. Anyway, notice statements of facts regarding status. Oh, that was to the Second Circuit Court. Never mind. No. Instead, I want to read you the attachments. Okay, this one. To Alexei Giannolius. I don't know. He's obviously a Greek. Anyway, Secretary of State of Illinois. Greetings to the man Alexei Giannolius, or we'll just call him Alex G, who sometimes acts as Secretary of State for State of Illinois. I have previously sent you, your office, my repudiation of U.S. citizenship by certified mail without reply. I, Ben Hosea, am one of the people born on the land in the sovereign country of Illinois. This fact makes me, Ben Hosea, non-resident alien with regard to Washington, D.C., and I wish to be recognized as non-citizen national with regard to United States. The United States first one is in all caps. United States second one, right? I require all public servants to recognize the fact that I, the man, Ben Hosea, of the House of Rogers, am born on the land in the sovereign Illinois country on the 7th of March, 1964, therefore am of age of majority on the 7th of March, 1982, am copyright and name holder of the ins legis trade or business name corporate entity Ben Hosea Rogers, which state of Illinois gave birth to, and birth is spelled B-E-R-T-H, on the 13th of March, 1964. am non-citizen national with regard to United States, and non-resident alien with regard to the district known as the District of Columbia, commonly called Washington, D.C., meaning neither are U.S. citizens but are American nationals by birth. And I put birth and slash birth, so B-I-R-T-H and B-E-R-T-H, by which I mean pre-1933 Union State citizens. Take notice of the Freedom of Information Act response enclosed. Neither I, Ben Hosea, also known as Rogers Ben Hosea, when acting in the capacity of creditor, nor the incorporated entity Rogers Ben Hosea or Ben Hosea Rogers, and those are in all caps, are citizens, dependents, employees, or officers of United States, in any capacity. I am sometimes do business as Ben H. Rogers or Rogers Ben H., but I am the executor or beneficiary of those trusts of the same names, differentiated from the man by the use of all capital letters, and am not the trustee or surety in any capacity for any trusts, corporations, estates bearing the names Ben Hosea Rogers or Ben H. Rogers, and that's all in caps, or any derivative combination order thereof. As examples, Rogers Ben H., Ben Hosea Rogers in title case. I also require you to recognize the fact that I have revoked any contract, express or implied, with any public servant to act as attorney in fact for I, the man, Ben Hosea, meaning I revoke power of attorney from any citizen, officer, or employee of United States. Now, see, with my letter rogatory, I gave our buddy, the public defender, the power of attorney for 60 days to act as trustee, right? So let's see here. Oh, what I did. Okay. Oh, I revoked the power of attorney from any citizen, officer, or employee of United States, or any of her franchises. I reserve all God-given unalienable rights and claim my birthright under the 1787 trust created by the Declaration of Independence and the Constitution for the United States of America. Constitution is capitalized, America is capitalized, United and States are not capitalized. Your silence agrees to all of the above, and absent response with facts or evidence to the contrary, I consider this matter as settled within 10 days and presume you do notify all within your purview. Notice to principal is notice to agent is notice to principal. Your silence agrees to all of the above, and absence response with facts or evidence to the contrary, I consider the matter settled within 10 days and presume you do notify all within your purview. Notice to principal is notice to agent is notice to principal. It's there twice for a reason. It is actually there twice on the document. Okay, and I also sent that to the Sylvia Luke in Secretary of State of Hawaii, who is the governor and the Secretary of State in Hawaii is the same. Okay, certificate of resignation. Resignation as registered agent for Illinois' business entity. Because, see, they created a business entity named Ben Hosea Rogers in all caps, right? That is the commercial entity. So I can do commerce. They created it for my benefit, our benefit, your benefit. You have one that's for your benefit also. Those concerned. This certificate of resignation and claim right is now presented for filing and constitutes a public deed record presented for filing. Whereas certain facts have become known, particularly the creation of the registered organization having the name Ben Hosea Rogers in all caps, as evidenced by the document called the Certificate of Live Birth, a bill of lading, being a public record showing the trade or business organization was organized on 13th March 1964, showing that it exists, and whereas the legal name of the registered organization, a state agency, is styled, all caps, Ben Hosea Rogers, and whereas said facts have caused some agents, officers, employees to believe a legal responsibility exists, and whereas I do not wish to operate any state or government agency, foreign or domestic, or act as trustee for said organization, I, Ben Hosea, hereby resign from any real or presumed state or government agency or organization, and will no longer accept service of process, demands, or notices addressed to said organization as registered agent, officer, or trustee. I hereby resign from any capacity as registered agent, officer, or trustee, and now assume as man office and capacity of general executor of the estate of the agency until any man or woman claiming an interest in the registered organization aforementioned or the estates thereof make themselves present and known to the man Ben Hosea with a verifiable proof of claim. Any and all real or presumed powers of attorney claimed by any government agent, officer, agent, or employee, either county, state, or federal, has and is hereby revoked, rescinded, and made void. Any county, state, or federal officer, agent, or employee shall not represent themselves as the beneficiary of, nor conduct the affairs of the registered organization known as Ben Hosea Rogers, all caps, / Ben Hosea Rogers title case, administer any estates thereof, or do any business whatsoever as Ben Hosea Rogers, / that's all caps, / Ben H. Rogers, that's title case, without contract containing the express written consent of the general executor of the estate, effective this day. That's page 1. Page 2 is 3 paragraphs. I, Ben Hosea, hereby authorize, warrant, and demand that all business and transactions being done within the state of Hawaii and using the trade or business name, or legal entity identifiers associated with the registered organization known as Ben Hosea Rogers in all caps, Ben H. Rogers, or Ben Hosea Rogers, cease. Any man or woman under your office are hereby given notice, no officer, agency, or agent, or any employee of state of Hawaii or any other state shall in any way operate or conduct any affairs of the registered organization Ben Hosea Rogers, without the express written consent of the man, Ben Hosea, acting as general executors as of this day. I request full accounting of their organizational accounts to be determined and the conditions and solvency of the registered organization Ben Hosea Rogers. They're never going to do it, but I requested it anyway. In other words, what's the status of this organization? Anyway, all caps, Ben Hosea Rogers, Ben Hosea Rogers. And see, then, once I sent this into them, what did they do? They took that name off the docket and put Ben H. Rogers on the docket. Yay! So now Ben H. Rogers is the thing that they're summoning to court and saying, because when I went up there and I have a picture of it, they took Ben Hosea Rogers off, and all this time for like 2 years, it's always been Ben Hosea Rogers in title case, also known as Ben Hosea Rogers in the all caps, and now that thing no longer exists. So what they put was Ben H. Rogers, but I'm still Rogers Ben H. They bet that you don't know your name. Like, they don't, not joking, they bet. Anyway, so where was I? I request a full accounting of the organizational accounts to determine the condition and solvency of the registered organization, Ben Hosea Rogers, Ben H. Rogers, because it's a business. It's a person. And see, you think that it's a person, that means this flesh and blood, but this flesh and blood is not the person. This is a juristic entity. This is a legal fiction. This thing exists on paper and paper alone. It's not you. And you got to separate yourself. They have 2 different birth dates. This juristic entity was created after you were born. You're the source. You're the principal. You're the executor. You're the beneficiary. But you're not that thing. The name of the thing is not the same as the thing named. Took me years to figure that out. Okay, please forward to the executor's office, private mailbox listed above, certified copy of any accounts known by your office or other agency, or in your possession, including any and all debts, credits, funds, trust accounts, UCC financial statements, liens, encumbrances, or judgments, etc., concerning the registered organization Ben Hosea Rogers. Ben Hosea Rogers. One is all caps, one is title case. This is a lawful request for an accounting of the organization, including, but not limited to, any so-called mortmain accounts trusts in Puerto Rico, if possible. It's not possible. They're not going to do it, but now they know. Okay, to be clear, I, as man, hereby resign the position of registered agent and discontinue any and all registered offices, trusteeships. If there are any questions of debt owed by the organization, please send all proof of claims as evidence of debt to the Chief Executive Office of the organization for payment, set-off, discharge, or settlement, or as otherwise provided by law, executed by the hand of I, and seal this 22nd day of the 5th month of the year of our Lord, 2023, upon the land of Maui Island, Hawaiian Islands, United Nations, the United States of America. And it has two signatures, Rogers Ben Hosea, acting as non-represented capacity, Illinois Union State National, all rights reserved, and by Ben Hosea Rogers, acting as in executor capacity, without prejudice, without recourse. Okay, so there you go. They are formally noticed, and they were noticed by registered mail. I noticed the Secretary of State of Illinois and the Secretary of State of Hawaii. As soon as I did that, the docket changed. Okay, so then what do they do? Well, we got to use some name, because did I mention Ben H. Rogers in there? No, I didn't. So they put Ben H. Rogers in there. Fuck us. Anyway, but see, in other documents I say, any derivative thereof, right? Ben H. Rogers is the derivative of Ben Hosea Rogers. But Ben H. Rogers is the registered name that was registered on the 13th of March, 5 days after I was born. That person is not the same person that was born on March 7th. You can't have two birth dates. Okay. How that? Still going. All right, 12 likes, yay, but only 6 people watching. Like I said, go back and watch this 2 times speed, and then go underneath and do your damn research. Do your own research. You got to be able to write your own documents. Don't use my documents, right? Got to be able to write your own documents. Let me read this one to you, since I'm on a roll in the reading thing, and then I'm going to quit. Okay, this was accepted, electronically filed, 2nd Circuit Court on 2nd of June, 2023. And notice how when you put it in your documents, you spell everything out, because they consider it an affront for you to use the number symbols. So you spell out the, the 5th month, or right now, what are we? January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August. So this would be the 8th month. So the 8th month on the 8th day of 2023, right? So the 7th day of the 3rd month of 1964, not numbers. They're a bunch of freaking weirdos. But see, it lets them know that you know their language. So you write in a language that they understand, not in the slave tongue. All right, so here are some of the things that I put here. Am I going to read the whole thing? I don't feel like reading the whole thing. I'm tired of reading already. Let's see here. But here's what, and it's been stamped and sealed. And what we have here, and it's starting to get dark. I will accept everything done, provided you can provide proof of the following claims, either express or implied, made by Maui 2nd Circuit Court regarding this case, to wit, the Maui 2nd Circuit Court need not prove any claim or is not required by law to provide proof of claim before proceeding. That I, Rogers Ben Hosea, am not the copyright holder for Ben Hosea Rogers, Ben H. Rogers, or Ben Hosea Rogers, Ben H. Rogers. One is all caps and one is title case. And that I have not provided you with proof of such. That I, the living soul, born of the woman Joyce Antoinette on the 7th of March, 1964, Ben Hosea of the House of Rogers, is the same thing as, all caps, Ben Hosea Rogers, created birth on 13th of March, 1964. That I, Rogers Ben Hosea, have not attained the age of majority on 7th March, 1982. That I, Ben Hosea, am not citizen national with regard to the United States. Am not non-citizen national with regard to the United States. Too many negatives. Anyway, these are negative affirmants. That I, Rogers Ben Hosea, am not non-resident alien with regard to United States. See, in the other way, the corollary is to prove that I am resident alien with regard to the United States. That I am a citizen with regard to United States. That I, Rogers Ben Hosea, have any wet ink signed contract with Maui Second Circuit Court. I have an agreement, but I have no contracts. Contracts need two signatures. That I, Rogers Ben Hosea, am a decedent, right? That I'm dead. I ain't dead. I'm not dead yet, sir. That I, Rogers Ben Hosea, am not the beneficiary of Ben Hosea Rogers Ben H. Rogers estates. That I, Rogers Ben Hosea, am an employee, officer, or dependent of Maui Second Circuit Court, County of Maui, State of Hawaii, or United States, because they consider you as an employee, officer, or dependent, just an unpaid employee. That I, a volunteer. Equity will not aid a volunteer. Equity will not aid someone that slumbers on their rights. That I, Rogers Ben Hosea, have accepted the liability of the decedent. That I, when my mom died, she left me with credit card debt. I did not accept the liability. They sent me a whole bunch of bills. I sent them back, said I'm not that person, and I'm not responsible for the bills of the decedent. I never heard from any of them again. Had I sent them a check, they would have cashed the check. That I, Rogers Ben Hosea, have not accepted your oath of office. That I, Rogers Ben Hosea, have any agency agreement with any attorney who entered any plea or who has taken any action or made any motion for Ben Hosea Rogers, Ben H. Rogers, or Ben Hosea Rogers, Ben H. Rogers. That would be all caps and title case. Okay. I still don't have an agency agreement because I asked him for an agency agreement, but I do have a letter rogatory appointing a certain person, temporary trusteeship and temporary ability to sign for me, right, as authorized representative of these names. That you, i.e. any judge, attorney, clerk, or other concerned public servant, is authorized to represent Ben Hosea Rogers, Ben H. Rogers, or Ben H. Rogers, right, the two, right, all caps and title case, absent written contract. My attorney now has a written contract in the form of letters rogatory that gives him that authority for 60 days, right? So he could prove that claim. So that, yeah, I can sign that document. Yeah, I'm the trustee because I gave him that authority. Okay, but none of these other guys. That's one person. The only other person that has authority is my common law wife. She has the ability to sign for me. She is attorney in fact for me. That makes it so that she doesn't have to send the notary to the jail if they ever are so stupid as to put me in jail again. Because I swear to God, I will tap their bonds so fast it'll make people's head spins. Anyway. That you, judges, attorneys, clerks, and all other concerned public servants thereafter you, do not have tax liability for any bonds written in this case, and that you have put up your bonds for your tax liability. That you are not making any claims against my estate. That I have voluntarily gifted you any funds. That you have not filed IRS Form 211 claiming that I voluntarily gifted you funds from any estate. See, because then they consider me the donor, and the donor is liable for the tax. Right? They want to make you the debtor. It's simple as that. It's just about money, guys. Right? Don't take it personally. That you have not filed the SSA 89 on my behalf, right? To use my Social Security number, because they never could have written the fucking bonds if they didn't have my Social Security number. Let's see here. That would be fraud, wouldn't it? Because they didn't have, under the Privacy Act, my authority or my written consent, and they were doing it assuming that I was a pauper or a person that was, incompetent. But I'm showing them that I am competent. That I have given you my permission, or that you have any permission or authority to use the name Ben Hosea Rogers, Ben H. Rogers, or Ben Hosea Rogers, Ben H. Rogers. And again, all caps. Do you have any authority to use it? Because I have copyright claim on that. That I have given you my written permission, or that you have any permission to use the Social Security number associated with the name Ben H. Rogers, or that you are authorized to do so under 42 U.S.C. or under 5 U.S.C. That you are authorized to administer my estate, absent consent or contract, and that you are administering any tax. That I have given you my permission, or that you have any permission to use my signature, mark, or autograph. They immediately use your signature, mark, or autograph. As soon as you sign any document, they lift it and make a bond out of it. That you have not used my signature or mark or autograph to create any bond or debenture or negotiable instrument or debt. Prove it that you didn't do it, because I can prove you have, because I can find these bonds. Anyway, there's ways to look them up. That you are qualified, and that's fraudulent because they did not have permission, and that you are a qualified debt collector with regard to the FDCPA, and I spelled it out, Fair Debt Collection Practices Act at 15 USC. That you have not threatened violence, such as arrest or imprisonment, if I do not pay your alleged debt in violation of the Fair Debt Collection Practices Act at 15 USC. You should respond immediately or as soon as you are able, claim by claim, point by point, under penalty of perjury, according to 28 USC 1746. But if no response is received, that's the one that, within the United States without, how to sign, how to endorse. If no response is received by me within 10 days, not including the day of receipt, verified notice of non-response and notice of default will be issued, allowing another 10 days for opportunity to cure. Okay, and I just sent them that by registered mail, and they did not accept it. So the fact that I sent it to them and they didn't accept it, mailbox rule, and that's also, damn it, 18 USC, whatever the hell it is. I talked about it earlier. See, and I should know it. I should know it. So let's see if I can know it. Where did I put that? Oh, darn it. I don't know. Anyway, it's 18 USC something or another where they're supposed to file it. If they don't file it, they're naughty. Anyway, okay, keep going. Upon failure to provide proof of claims, my signature on any court document agreement, see attached, is hereby rescinded. Upon failure to provide proof of claims, respondents, i.e. Maui Second Circuit Court and other employees of the franchise of the United States, commonly known as State of Hawaii, County of Maui, and Maui Police Department, State of Hawaii Department of Public Safety, Sheriff's Division, or Outtake Services, etc., et al., are all acting under color of law, but not lawfully. So there is their notice that they're acting under color of law. I declare under penalty of perjury, under the laws of the United States of America, without the United States, that the foregoing is true and correct, right? That's in accordance with 28 USC 1746-1. That's what it actually says, right? 2nd May 2023. And I also put Mark 1019, and I left Ecclesiastes off, and I signed as Ben Hosea Rogers, beneficiary, non-citizen national, without prejudice, all rights reserved, without recourse, as executor, copyright, and name holder for Ben Hosea Rogers, copyright, Ben H. Rogers, Ben Hosea Rogers estate. And I have a crap ton of witnesses. More better than notary is other men and women who can vouch that, yeah, that's Ben, right? That's Ben Hosea right there. Okay, that's the last thing I'm going to read you. Not for Eddie, bro. Okay. There is a crap ton of information in this video. This is sauce. This is one. All of those documents are written after hours and hours and hours of research. So go back at 2 times speed and maybe sometimes at slower speed and research every one of those statements. Why did I make them? Right? And why didn't I put Ben H. Rogers in there? Because I could just as easily have written Ben H. Rogers, but no. I want Ben H. Rogers to be able to do commerce for me. Ben Hosea Rogers is this whole other fictional entity, but there's 2 fictional entities there, and one is a derivative of the other, and the one that's registered on the 13th of March is Ben H. Rogers. That is my in legis. That is the person on my bank account. That is the person on my Social Security card in the trust, right? Okay, that's a person. Not all persons are men, right? Not all men are persons. The idea is State of Hawaii is a person. United States is a person. Apple Computer is a person. Name it. There's all these different agencies. Those are persons. Those persons have employees. Okay. So a gentleman gives notice. You must give notice. You must, and the way you give notice, you got to use registered mail. You have to have witnesses that you sent it in case they come back with you and say, oh, we never got it, or the registered mail, there's no proof that you sent it, or blah, 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 even though you've got the green card and so forth. I've heard of cases that where it actually became an issue. And if you have people that went to the post office with you, or if you have a receipt and the postal, like the guys in Wailuku Post Office, they know me. Kahului Post Office, there's a couple of them that kind of sort of know me. right? Because I talk to them and get, just small talk. What's your name? Oh, how long have you been working at the post office? Blah, blah, blah. They recognize me, right? So then I can say, oh, do you remember, this was, on that receipt, it has their drawer number. Do you remember sending this document off? Oh, yeah. Okay, good enough. May have to subpoena you. Okay, so you can get paid for making the statement, not just making a statement out of the kindness of your heart, if it ever came to that and you were in a court case. All right, the idea is CYA, cover your ass. The idea is head them off at the pass. Do all this stuff before you have an issue. Where in my case, I did it after I have an issue. But see, that's the thing. The computer broke. That's when you learn how to fix your computer. The car broke. That's when I learned how to fix the car. Right? So I figured out how to, what documents to do and how to give notice and how to separate and so forth after they arrested me. I should have done this before. So get your fucking paperwork in order, people, before you have an issue, before you have a traffic ticket, before anything. Because the only person they can write a traffic ticket to is the all caps name. They can't write a traffic ticket to the living person because they don't have jurisdiction over the living person. And they're going to assume that you're in Washington, D.C., that the whole thing happened in Washington, D.C., and that you're a resident alien of Washington, D.C., that's allowed to be in Washington, D.C. The way they know it is because you have a zip code and an address that's presumed to be in Washington, D.C. Just so happens that, like an embassy, they plant their little flag right up the street. There's a flag and a post office that says Wailuku Post Office 96793. That is the zip code, the zone that they're in the county of Maui, which is in the state of Hawaii, which is part of the United States, all of which are fictions that exist in the 10 square miles of Washington, D.C., according to the Constitution of United States at Article 1, Section 8, Clause 17. It's a world of make-believe. Okay. Apaw. That's enough for today. I will make more video. I will try to make some short videos. Everybody, my one friend gives me a hard time because I do. I need to make short, little 15-minute short videos, letting the Kanaka Maoli know that they are not Native Hawaiians, because Native Hawaiians are United States citizens, and United States citizens are debtors, and the debt that they owe, they had nothing to do with, and the corporation came out here, took over the whole thing called Hawaiian Islands, and made all these people get birth certificates and driver's license and voter registration, and made them think that they were citizens of this great and grand nation known as United States of America, when actually they were just indentured servants, basically voluntary volunteers of under the 14th Amendment to be employees and citizens and dependents of this corporation known as United States. They're not. And see, before we came along, they were doing just fucking fine. In fact, better than fine. Right? Mountain is the cupboard. Ocean is the refrigerator. Right? When I was a boy, back in my day, you could lay net, literally. You lay one piece net, right? Not fucking 3 strings, just 1 string net. Go on the beach, play ukulele, talk story for a half an hour, go back in the water, and you get fish that you could eat. Okay? Now you can leave 3 strings overnight and you might not catch anything. Used to have opihi like this. Used to have ame crab. These guys were fine. They had taro. They had breadfruit. They were fine. And then we came in with the pala and pala. Worthless pala. Got them to think that they're free because the husband and wife are both working to try and pay their mortgages and don't even get... Okay, and this is another thing. I got to do videos about discharging debt because these guys now have ashes that they still owe mortgages on. Plenty of work for do. Anyhow, before I get testy again, let's call it a day. All right, Crime Stoppers. Like I said, this was nutrient dense. So fucking much information in here. Learn your etymology. Look up the words. Get yourself a Black's 4th or 5th and look up every word. You need to know that state means state. and what state means. You need to know what citizen means. You need to know what's synonymous with employee. You need to know definitions of words that you thought were right. Terms. What is a term? What is a word of art? Because most of this is words of art, right? The difference between a firearm and an arm. The difference between a capital S state and a lowercase state. The difference between, it's wordfare, grammarfare, lawfare. Right? The definitions of the words are absolutely important, and they try to trip you up. And unless you have documents with other witnesses that tell them what you mean by certain words, because you mean one thing. I thought Native Hawaiian meant that I was born here and one of the people that came here and had, ancestors going back to, 7, 10, 12 generations and came here by canoe. No, that's not what they say it means. They say it means U.S. citizen. So then you got to use terms like kanaka maoli. And then you got to start using Hawaiian. That's why they tried to kill their language. Right? Because you have the definitions. And see, some of the words don't translate well. Right? Kuleana is a word they're using now a lot. And yeah, it is. Some people get kuleana out there and other people know more kuleana out there. And if you do go out there, make sure you come with the spirit of kuleana. Make sure you understand aloha. Make sure you understand the difference between kanaka maoli and kanaka haole and kanaka Hawaiian. Make sure you understand, use your own language and define the terms. Right? Define the words, because it's all about what the words mean. Because you're playing grammar fair, word fair, law fair, and they're doing everything they can to twist everything, because these are fraudulent, dishonorable people that are here to extract wealth from you. They're here to help you pay, to get you to help them pay the tax that they owe to the crown. And our buddy Trump sat in front of the Queen and the Pope and basically told them, done. Power ready. We are finished with this. This corporation is bankrupt and this game is over. And now they're putting on the most ridiculous play. But if you think for a minute that our government that is recording this right now, this is on a server someplace in probably Utah or someplace, every fucking thing we all do, not just me, I'm not special, didn't have every freaking bit of data with regard to the 2020 election, you are fooling yourself. When this comes out and how it comes out and the way they're going to use it and the way they're going to, right? Because people, it's treason. Every dot must be over the I and every T must be crossed, because the penalty for treason is death. Right? Some of these penalties that these guys have done to me, kidnapping and so forth, yeah, the penalty is death. They'll never get it. But they come with, constitutional violations come with huge penalties. But a lot of these guys not subject to the Constitution because they're not subject to statute, because they understand the concept of union state citizen pre-1933. And it's already well known, which is why we can't nail some of them. So they have to use international military law for crimes against humanity. You can't escape the long arm of the law. And then understand that the wheels of justice grind slowly, ever so slowly, but they grind finely. All right, Crime Stoppers, e pluribus unum, and Hawaiians, onipa'a. The idea is have to stand together and make it understood that you're not going to put up with the bullshit, and we need to hold these fuckers to account. If nothing, then for negligence. But there are dead because of negligence, and I'm not pointing any fingers at the moment at anyone in particular, other than bureaucracy. But there was incompetence, and incompetence to the point of negligence. And gross negligence is fraud. And what's happened on this island is inexcusable. You forgive, but you don't not hold to account. And that's what they're deathly afraid of, is that they will be held to account. Anyway, take it easy, Crime Stoppers. We will, I'll probably get another one on tomorrow. Maybe not, though, where I do it. And if not, sometime next week. And if not, because Tuesday I'm not appearing in court, because as I told my lawyer and as I told these people, that my very presence in court, whether I tell them I'm there specially or not, is admission of guilt. Further, I have no signed court orders telling me to be there. So if I show up, seems to me that I'm showing up voluntarily, and I have received nothing by email or anything. I'll talk to my lawyer on Monday and see what's up, if they have, right? But at this point, I'm at the I wish a motherfucker would stage. Because if they come and in violation, acting under color of law after I've given them notice after notice, I'll sit there as long as I can, right? As long as they hold me or whatever it fucking takes. And the food at MCCC is freaking awesome. Home cooked meals, my God. Beef stew and rice. I'll go back for seconds on that. Anyway, I was getting embarrassed because by the third day I couldn't eat all the freaking food. I mean, literally, I'm a member of the Clean Plate Club and couldn't eat breakfast, lunch, and dinner, 3 meals a day, what they were giving me, as opposed to the exact opposite, where I'm going to sue those motherfuckers for cruel and unusual punishment because they fed us 12 hours apart. They know that they're supposed to give us 3 squares, and they didn't give us 3 squares, and they don't give a shit because they make so fucking much money and nobody ever sues them. So they pay the federal fine that they owe because they've already lost in court, and they just pay it once a year. And once in a while, somebody like me will come along and sue them, and they just pay that as a matter of course, as a matter of doing business. But they make so much fucking money because most of those drug addicts and criminals never take them to court for cruel and unusual punishment or any other crimes, right? Anyway, this is all down the road, one step at a time. But see, I'm that 1 in a million guy. I'm that guy that isn't going to be just like, oh, I'm so glad you let me go, right? Or, oh, I'm so afraid you're going to throw me back in prison. At this point, or jail or whatever, right? And stick me in the cold room. Fuck it, I can take it, right? And also at this point, at 59 years of age, I've been watching quite a bit of Jeff Maher podcast. I already believe this way anyway. I don't know there's an afterlife. I mean, I don't believe there's an afterlife. I know it. Certain people have come back to visit me, and I'm not crazy. And I wasn't sleeping at the time. I've had some experiences of my own that I'm not going to talk about. I am not afraid to go to the other side. In fact, at this point, I've lived too long. I fucking lived to see children die. Anyway. So, a ticket out of here will be fine. Fine with me. Because I can't believe, I mean, these children burned to death. Fuck. Fuck, 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 fuck. All right, Crime Stoppers. Enough of this. Yeah, I want to quit. All right. You pluribus unum. You guys take it easy. Expect more from me coming up. And if you don't hear anything from me, send a search party. But don't worry about me. I'll be fine. We'll just add to the tally. Because this is apparently going to, like I said, no longer, it's not personal. It's just about money. Right? I mean, it's just business. And they're doing business for the state. Anyhow, but yeah, like I said, I'm not scared. I'm not even slightly afraid. And see, that's the problem, because when you get to that point and when you are ready to check out, that's when you got to stay. Everybody that's clinging to life and so afraid and putting the mask on and right, that's when you check out early. Anyway, so I'm probably going to be here for quite a while longer, as my grandmother said, in the numerous car totals where I like absolutely fucking totaled those cars and walked out without so much as a headache. God's saving you for something worse. And I am seeing it. I'm seeing it now. Like I said, I lived too long. When I lived to see children burn on my own island, not someplace far away, not some thing that's on the internet, but where I can drive there and where I just was and where I know these people and I know that they're grieving, I've lived too long. Anyway, take it easy, Crime Stoppers. You pluribus unum. Educate yourself. Educate others. Look for all the links below.